Long ago, before there were cities or nations, there was a people who spoke a language that echoed across vast plains and mountains. These people didn't leave behind grand monuments or written words. Instead, they left something far more enduring, the seeds of languages and stories that would be carried across continents and generations. They were the Proto-Indo-Europeans, and their culture, though hidden in the mists of time, became the foundation upon which countless others would build. It is said that the Proto-Indo-Europeans lived in a time when the world was vast and untamed, when the skies were open and the earth stretched out like a great canvas. Their world was one where every hill and river had a spirit, and the stars above were filled with the whispers of gods. These people were not bound by walls or borders, they were wanderers, their lives entwined with the rhythms of nature. The Proto-Indo-Europeans spoke a language that was rich and full of life. It was a language that sang of the earth and sky, of the sun's warmth and the cold breath of winter. This language was more than just words, it was a living connection to their world, a way to understand the forces that shaped their lives. It was through this language that they shared their stories, their beliefs, and their understanding of the universe. As they moved across the land, the Proto-Indo-Europeans carried their language with them, like a precious treasure. They traveled through forests and over mountains, following the herds of animals that provided them with food and clothing. Every step they took, every fire they lit, every song they sang, added to the legacy they were creating. And though they did not know it, their language would one day be spoken by people in faraway lands, in forms that they could not even imagine. But it wasn't just their language that they carried. The Proto-Indo-Europeans had a way of life that was steeped in tradition and belief. They worshipped gods that were as old as the earth itself, deities of the sky, the sun, the dawn, and the storms. These gods were powerful and sometimes fearsome, but they were also close, a part of everyday life. To the Proto-Indo-Europeans, the gods were everywhere, in the rustling of leaves, in the roar of thunder, in the first light of morning. They honored these gods with rituals and offerings, seeking their favor and guidance. A piece of bread placed by the hearth, a drop of wine poured on the ground, these small acts were filled with meaning, a way to keep the world in balance. The Proto-Indo-Europeans believed that by respecting the gods, they could ensure the fertility of their fields, the health of their herds, and the safety of their families. As the Proto-Indo-Europeans spread out across the land, their culture began to branch out like a great tree, each branch reaching towards a different part of the world. They settled in new lands, adapting to new environments, but they never forgot their roots. Their language evolved, changing with each new generation, yet always carrying within it the echoes of that ancient tongue. And so, their culture spread, carried by the wind and by the stories they told around their fires. In time, the Proto-Indo-Europeans would give rise to many different peoples, each with its own language and traditions. From the Greeks who built mighty temples, to the Romans who carved out an empire, to the Celts who danced beneath the stars, they all shared a common heritage. Even those who lived in faraway lands, where the winters were long and harsh, or where the deserts stretched out like oceans of sand, could trace their lineage back to those early wanderers. Yet, through all these changes, something of the Proto-Indo-Europeans remained. In the words we speak today, in the myths we tell, in the way we see the world, there is still a part of them that lives on. Their language, their beliefs, their way of life, they are not lost. They have simply transformed, like a river that changes course but never stops flowing. The Proto-Indo-Europeans did not set out to leave a legacy. They were simply living their lives, raising their children, tending their animals, and honoring their gods. But in doing so, they created something that would last far beyond their own time. They laid the foundation for countless cultures, a foundation that still supports us today. In their world, the past was never forgotten. It was carried forward, in the stories told by the elders, in the songs sung by the young, in the rituals that marked the turning of the seasons. And as long as these things were remembered, the Proto-Indo-Europeans would live on, not just in the lands they once walked, but in the hearts and minds of all who came after them. Their story is not just a story of the past. It is a story of beginnings, of how we came to be who we are. It is a reminder that even the smallest of actions, the quietest of words, can echo through time, shaping the future in ways we cannot imagine. The Proto-Indo-Europeans may have lived in a world very different from our own, but their legacy is all around us, in the languages we speak, in the stories we tell, and in the way we understand the world. In a world where the winds carried whispers of ancient tales and the earth held memories of gods long past, the myths of the Indo-European people began to take shape. These myths, born from the same roots, spread across lands far and wide, finding new homes in the hearts of different cultures. Yet, even as these stories adapted to new lands and new tongues, they never lost the echoes of their shared origins. Across the snow-covered mountains of Scandinavia, the green hills of Ireland, the sun-drenched plains of Greece, and the misty valleys of India, the myths of the Indo-European descendants carried the same soul, woven from the threads of a common past. These stories, though told in different voices and languages, shared a rhythm, a heartbeat that connected them all. In the cold lands of the north, where the nights were long and the winters harsh, the Norse people spoke of gods who lived in a mighty hall called Asgard. Odin, the All-Father, ruled over them, wise and stern, always seeking knowledge even at great cost. Thor, his son, wielded a hammer that could call down thunder and lightning, protecting the world from giants who threatened to bring chaos. These gods were fierce and strong, their stories filled with battles and bravery, reflecting the harshness of the world in which the Norse lived. But far to the south, under the warm Mediterranean sun, the Greeks told tales of their own gods who lived on Mount Olympus. Zeus, the king of the gods, held the thunderbolt in his hand, ruling with both justice and power. Athena, born fully armored from the head of Zeus, was the goddess of wisdom and war, always ready to defend her people. The stories of the Greek gods were filled with beauty and tragedy, love and betrayal, mirroring the complexities of human life. Yet, despite the distance between these lands, the Norse and Greek myths shared a bond. The sky god, whether he was called Odin or Zeus, held dominion over the heavens, his power tied to the storms and the forces of nature. The warrior gods, Thor and Athena, stood as protectors of their people, their strength and courage a beacon of hope in times of trouble. In the east, across the vast plains of India, the myths took on a different flavor, yet they too held the same core. The Vedic people, who sang hymns to the gods, spoke of Indra, the king of the gods, who wielded a thunderbolt and slayed a great serpent to release the waters and bring life to the earth. Agni, the god of fire, was the messenger who carried the prayers of the people to the gods, his flames a bridge between the mortal and the divine. These stories, rich with symbolism and meaning, echoed the same themes of power, protection, and the relationship between gods and nature. But across the seas, on the green hills of Ireland, the Celts told tales of gods who walked among them, gods who were both fierce warriors and gentle healers. The Dagda, with his great club that could both kill and heal, ruled as the father of all, his wisdom and power unmatched. Brigid, the goddess of fire and healing, brought warmth and light, her presence a comfort to all who called upon her. The Celtic myths, like those of their Indo-European cousins, were filled with stories of gods who were close to the earth, who lived and breathed alongside their people. Even in the lands of ancient Rome, where the empire stretched across the known world, the myths carried the same echoes. Jupiter, the king of the gods, ruled with his thunderbolt, his power a symbol of the might of Rome. Mars, the god of war, was both a protector and a destroyer, his favor sought by soldiers before they went into battle. The Roman gods, though dressed in the grandeur of an empire, were not so different from the gods of the Norse, the Greeks, the Vedic people, or the Celts. These myths, though told in different ways and in different lands, were like branches of the same tree, each one reaching out to touch the sky in its own unique way. There were stories that carried within them the same themes of power, protection, love, and the relationship between gods and humans. They spoke of a world where the gods were close, where they walked among their people, where the forces of nature were both feared and revered. But just as there were common threads, there were also differences, shaped by the lands and lives of the people who told these stories. The Norse gods, forged in the cold and darkness of the north, were warriors, their tales filled with battles against the giants who sought to bring ruin to the world. The Greek gods, born under the Mediterranean sun, were beings of beauty and passion, their stories filled with love, jealousy, and the dramas of human life. The Vedic gods, sung into being in the rich lands of India, were forces of nature, their stories tied to the cycles of the earth, the seasons, and the sacred rituals that sustained life. These differences did not weaken the bond between these myths. Instead, they enriched it, adding depth and color to the shared heritage of the Indo-European people. Each culture, each land, took the old stories and made them their own, weaving them into the fabric of their lives, their beliefs, and their understanding of the world. In this way, the myths of the Indo-European world were like a great tapestry, each thread unique yet part of a larger, more beautiful whole. There were stories that had been passed down through generations, changing and adapting, but always holding on to that core, that essence that connected them all. There were stories that spoke to the heart, that stirred the soul, that reminded people of the power of the gods, the strength of the heroes, and the deep, unbreakable bond between the earth and the sky. These myths, whether told by the fireside in a longhouse in Scandinavia, sung in a temple in Greece, chanted in a ritual in India, or whispered in the mists of Ireland, were more than just stories. They were a connection to the past, a link to the ancestors who had once walked the earth, who had spoken the ancient tongue, who had honored the gods in their own way. They were a reminder that no matter how far people traveled, no matter how much the world changed, the old stories, the old gods, were never far away. They were always there, in the words spoken, in the songs sung, in the quiet moments when the world seemed to stand still and the echoes of the past could be heard, if only for a moment. In a time when the world was young, before the rise of great empires and the birth of mighty nations, there existed a people who spoke to the gods in words now forgotten. These were the Proto-Indo-Europeans, and their gods were as old as the earth itself. These deities were not distant or aloof, but close, like the wind that whispers through the trees or the fire that warms the hearth. To the Proto-Indo-Europeans, the gods were everywhere, in every breath, in every drop of rain, in every crack of thunder. At the heart of their beliefs stood the Sky Father, the greatest of all the gods, who ruled over the heavens with a gaze that saw all. He was the protector, the guardian of oaths, the bringer of justice. His power was as vast as the sky itself, stretching from horizon to horizon, touching every corner of the earth. The Proto-Indo-Europeans looked up to him, their hearts filled with both reverence and fear, knowing that his favor could bring prosperity, but his wrath could bring ruin. By his side was the Earth Mother, the nurturer of life, whose body was the very ground beneath their feet. She was the giver of all things, the source of food, water, and shelter. The Earth Mother was both gentle and fierce, her moods reflected in the changing seasons, in the birth of crops, and the fury of storms. To her, they offered their prayers for fertility, for the health of their children, for the strength of their animals. She was life itself, and without her, there could be no harvest, no home, no hope. Together, the Sky Father and Earth Mother formed the foundation of the Proto-Indo-European pantheon, their union giving birth to the world and all within it. From them came the Sun God, who rode his chariot across the sky, bringing light and warmth to the earth below. The Sun God was a figure of both beauty and power, his presence felt in the warmth of a summer's day, in the golden fields of grain, in the glow of the setting sun. He was the measure of time, his journey marking the days and the seasons, his light a constant reminder of the life-giving power of the sun. But the world was not always calm and peaceful. There were forces of chaos and destruction, forces that threatened to tear apart the delicate balance of life. To combat these forces, the storm god rose up, a warrior with the power of thunder and lightning at his command. The storm god was a fierce protector, his strength unmatched, his fury unleashed in the raging storms that swept across the land. He was both feared and respected, for while his storms could bring devastation, they also brought the rains that nourished the earth, ensuring that life could continue. Yet the Proto-Indo-European pantheon was not just about power and might. There was also the goddess of dawn, who heralded the coming of each new day with a touch as soft as the first light of morning. She was the bringer of hope, of renewal, of new beginnings. Each dawn was a promise, a reminder that no matter how dark the night, the light would always return. The Proto-Indo-Europeans saw in her the gentle side of the divine, a goddess who brought peace and comfort, who welcomed them into the new day with open arms. And then there were the twin gods, mysterious and elusive, who embodied both duality and unity. They were the protectors of humanity, the saviors in times of crisis, their bond unbreakable, their strength drawn from each other. These twins were both warriors and healers, their stories filled with acts of bravery and compassion. They were a symbol of the balance between opposites, the connection between life and death, day and night, strength and gentleness. The Proto-Indo-European pantheon was not just a collection of gods, it was a reflection of the world as they understood it, a world where everything had its place, where every force had a counterbalance, where life and death, light and dark, creation and destruction were all part of the same cycle. The gods were not just beings to be worshipped, they were guides, teachers, protectors. They were woven into the very fabric of life, their presence felt in every aspect of existence. In their rituals and prayers, the Proto-Indo-Europeans sought to honor these gods, to keep the balance, to ensure that the world would continue to thrive. They offered sacrifices, sang hymns, told stories that carried the wisdom of the ages. They knew that the gods were powerful, but they also knew that they were compassionate, that they listened to the prayers of the faithful, that they were a part of the world just as much as the people who worshipped them. The Proto-Indo-European pantheon was not static, it was alive, growing and changing with the people who honored it. As they spread out across the world, their gods traveled with them, taking on new names, new forms, but always holding on to that core, that essence that connected them to the land, to the sky, to each other. The gods became many, but they were always one, always part of the great web of life that stretched across the earth. Even now, echoes of these gods can be found in the myths and stories of their descendants. The Sky Father became Zeus, Jupiter, Odin, each one a ruler of gods, a protector of justice. The Earth Mother became Demeter, Gaia, Nerthus, the source of all life, the ground beneath our feet. The Storm God became Thor, Indra, Tyrannes, wielding his hammer, his thunderbolt, his power to protect the world from chaos. The Sun God became Helios, Surya, Luf, his light still shining down on us, still marking the passage of time. These gods, these ancient beings who once walked with the Proto-Indo-Europeans, have never truly left us. They are still here, in the stories we tell, in the rituals we perform, in the way we see the world. They are part of our history, part of our culture, part of who we are. And as long as their stories are remembered, as long as their names are spoken, they will continue to live on, guiding us, protecting us, reminding us of the world that was, and the world that could be. In the quiet moments of dawn, when the world was still wrapped in the soft embrace of night, the Proto-Indo-Europeans would gather around the fire, their hearts connected by the warmth of the flames and the stories that bound them together. These were not just any stories, they were the myths of their people, the tales that had been passed down from generation to generation, shaping their lives, their beliefs, and their very understanding of the world. For the Proto-Indo-Europeans, myths were more than just stories to be told. They were the threads that wove the fabric of their society, the foundation upon which their lives were built. Every word, every symbol, every character within these myths carried a significance that went beyond mere entertainment. They were lessons, warnings, and reminders of the forces that shaped the world around them. In the flickering light of the fire, the elders would recount the tales of the Sky Father, the Earth Mother, and the gods who walked among them. These stories were not distant or abstract, they were deeply personal, touching every aspect of daily life. The Proto-Indo-Europeans saw their own lives reflected in the lives of the gods, their struggles mirrored in the battles of the divine. The myths provided answers to the questions that lingered in their minds, gave meaning to the cycles of life and death, and offered comfort in times of uncertainty. When the sun rose, the myths would continue to live on in the daily rituals of the people. Each morning, as the first light of dawn touched the earth, they would offer prayers to the sun god, thanking him for the warmth and life he brought. These rituals were not mere routines, they were acts of devotion, a way to connect with the divine, to honor the gods who had created the world and who continued to watch over it. The myths also played a crucial role in the social structure of the Proto-Indo-European people. They were the glue that held the community together, the shared beliefs that united them as one. In a world where survival often depended on cooperation and trust, the myths provided a common ground, a set of values and principles that guided their interactions with one another. The tales of the Skyfather, who upheld justice and demanded truth, shaped the way the Proto-Indo-Europeans governed themselves. They believed that the Skyfather watched over them, ensuring that they remained honest in their dealings, that they kept their promises, and that they treated one another with fairness and respect. In this way, the myths were not just stories, they were the laws of the land, the moral compass by which the people lived. But the significance of myths went even deeper than this. They were the bridge between the mortal and the divine, a way for the Proto-Indo-Europeans to communicate with the gods, to seek their guidance, and to understand their will. The myths provided the framework for the rituals and ceremonies that marked the most important moments in life, from birth to death, from planting to harvest, from peace to war. When a child was born, the Proto-Indo-Europeans would tell the story of the Earth Mother, who gave life to all living things. They would offer prayers to her, asking for her blessings on the new life that had entered the world. They believed that the Earth Mother was present at every birth, her spirit nurturing the child, her love protecting it from harm. As the child grew, the myths would continue to shape their life. The stories of the warrior gods, of their bravery and strength, would inspire the young to become strong and courageous, to defend their people and to honor the gods with their actions. The tales of the wise deities, of their knowledge and wisdom, would guide the elders, helping them to lead with fairness and understanding, to pass on the knowledge of the past to the next generation. Even in death, the myths played a crucial role. The Proto-Indo-Europeans believed that the soul's journey did not end with death, but continued on to the afterlife, where the gods would welcome the departed. The stories of the ancestors who had gone before, of their journey to the afterlife, provided comfort to the living, reassuring them that death was not the end, but a transition to a new existence. The myths also connected the people to the natural world, to the land they lived on, the animals they hunted, and the crops they grew. They believed that every part of the world was infused with the spirit of the gods, that the earth itself was sacred, a living being that needed to be respected and honored. The myths taught them how to live in harmony with the world around them, how to care for the land, how to give thanks for the abundance it provided. In times of hardship, when the crops failed, when sickness spread, when war threatened, the myths provided hope and strength. The people would turn to the stories of the gods who had faced similar challenges, who had overcome adversity through strength, wisdom, and perseverance. They would perform rituals, offer sacrifices, and pray for the gods' intervention, believing that the divine powers could turn the tide, could bring rain to the parched earth, could heal the sick, could bring peace to the land. The Proto-Indo-Europeans did not see their myths as separate from their lives. They were an integral part of who they were, a reflection of their values, their beliefs, their fears, and their hopes. The myths were living, breathing entities, ever present in the daily life of the people, in the rituals they performed, in the stories they told, in the way they understood the world and their place within it. In every sunrise, in every storm, in every whisper of the wind, the Proto-Indo-Europeans felt the presence of the gods, the echoes of the myths that had shaped their world. These stories were their legacy, passed down from generation to generation, a treasure trove of wisdom, a guide for living, a connection to the divine. And as long as the myths were remembered, as long as they were told and retold, the Proto-Indo-European people believed that they would never be alone, that the gods would always be with them, guiding them, protecting them, and watching over their lives. In the beginning, before the world took shape, before the gods themselves had names, there was only chaos. This chaos was not the kind we know today. This was something far greater, more profound. It was the void, the endless, formless expanse that stretched beyond the reaches of time and space. In this vast emptiness, there was no light, no darkness, no sound, no silence, only the pulse of potential, a deep, resonant hum that held within it the promise of all that would come to be. But from this swirling chaos, something miraculous began to take form. It was the cosmic egg, the seed of creation, nestled within the heart of the void. This egg was not like any other. It was a symbol of life and death, of beginning and end, of everything that ever was and everything that ever would be. It contained within it the essence of the universe, the spark of life that would ignite the cosmos and set the stars aflame. As the cosmic egg floated in the sea of chaos, something remarkable began to happen. The forces within the egg stirred, pushing and pulling, creating tension and harmony. The egg was alive with the energy of creation, with the power to bring forth worlds, to give birth to gods, to shape the very fabric of reality. It was a delicate balance, this dance between chaos and order, between the unformed and the formed. The egg held it all, a fragile shell containing the unimaginable power of the universe. Then, with a shudder that echoed through the void, the cosmic egg began to crack. The first crack was small, almost imperceptible, but it signaled the beginning of something extraordinary. Light burst forth from the crack, piercing the darkness of the void, scattering the chaos like leaves in the wind. The light was pure, brilliant, more radiant than anything that had ever been or would ever be. It was the first light, the dawn of existence, the birth of time itself. The cracks spread, each one releasing more light, more energy, more life. The shell of the egg, once whole and unbroken, began to crumble, and from within emerged the first forms of creation. The chaos, which had once been all-encompassing, began to retreat, making way for the order that was to come. The cosmic egg, now shattered, had fulfilled its purpose. From its broken pieces, the universe began to take shape. The heavens were the first to emerge, vast and endless, stretching out in all directions. The stars were born from the remnants of the egg, scattered across the sky like jewels on a velvet cloth. They burned with the same light that had burst forth from the egg, their brilliance a reminder of the moment of creation. The earth followed, solid and enduring, forming beneath the heavens, its mountains rising like giants, its rivers flowing like veins, its forests growing like hair on the body of the world. And then, from the chaos, from the remnants of the cosmic egg, the gods themselves were born. They emerged fully formed, powerful and majestic, their bodies made from the very essence of creation. They were the children of the egg, the first beings to walk the earth, to rule the heavens, to shape the world according to their will. The gods were many, each one a reflection of a different aspect of creation, each one carrying within them a piece of the chaos from which they had been born. The Sky Father, with his gaze that stretched across the heavens, was the first to rise. He took his place in the sky, watching over the world, ensuring that order would prevail over chaos, that light would triumph over darkness. The Earth Mother followed, her body becoming the very ground beneath the feet of the gods, her spirit nurturing the life that began to take root in the world. The Sun God, born from the light of the egg, took his place in the sky, his chariot blazing across the heavens, bringing warmth and life to the earth below. The Storm God, born from the chaos, wielded the power of thunder and lightning, his voice shaking the mountains, his fury felt in the storms that swept across the land. But even as the gods took their places, even as the world began to take shape, the memory of the chaos remained. It was a reminder that the world had been born from the void, that creation and destruction were two sides of the same coin. The gods knew that the chaos still existed, lurking at the edges of the world, waiting for its chance to return. They knew that their task was not just to create, but to maintain the balance, to keep the chaos at bay, to ensure that the world would continue to thrive. The myth of the cosmic egg and the primordial chaos was not just a story for the Proto-Indo-Europeans. It was a truth, a reality that shaped their understanding of the world, that influenced every aspect of their lives. They saw the chaos in the storms that raged across the land, and the earthquakes that shook the earth, and the darkness that came with the night. But they also saw the light, the order, the beauty that had been born from the chaos, and the sunrise that followed the night, and the calm that followed the storm, and the life that grew from the earth. The Proto-Indo-Europeans honored the cosmic egg and the chaos it represented, understanding that without chaos, there could be no creation, no life, no gods. They performed rituals, offered sacrifices, and told the story of the egg and the void, passing it down from generation to generation, ensuring that the memory of the beginning would never fade. In their hearts, they carried the knowledge that the world was fragile, that the balance between chaos and order was delicate, that the light could be swallowed by the darkness at any moment. But they also carried hope, the hope that the gods would continue to watch over them, that the world would continue to thrive, that life would continue to grow. And as long as they remembered the myth of the cosmic egg, as long as they honored the chaos from which they had come, they believed that the light would always return, that the world would always be reborn, just as it had been in the beginning. In the earliest days, when the world was still fresh from the breath of creation, two powerful forces emerged to shape the destiny of all that would come. These forces were not just deities, they were the embodiment of the universe itself, the living essence of the sky and the earth. The Sky Father and the Earth Mother, the first gods, stood at the center of the Proto-Indo-European pantheon, their bond as eternal as the heavens and the ground beneath our feet. The Sky Father, with his eyes that could see all, ruled the vast expanse above. He was the guardian of the heavens, the bringer of rain, the one who watched over the people with a gaze as steady as the stars. His presence was felt in every breath of wind and every storm that swept across the land. The people looked up to him, knowing that he held the power of life and death in his hands, that his favor brought the rains that nourished their crops, and his wrath brought the thunder that shook the earth. But the Sky Father was not alone. Beside him stood the Earth Mother, whose body was the very ground upon which the people walked. She was the source of all life, the nurturing force that brought forth the plants and trees, that filled the rivers and lakes, that cradled the seeds and gave them the strength to grow. The Earth Mother was as constant as the land itself, her love as deep as the soil, her strength as enduring as the mountains. Together, the Sky Father and the Earth Mother formed a divine union, a balance of power that mirrored the balance of the world. Their relationship was the blueprint for all life, the foundation upon which the Proto-Indo-Europeans built their understanding of the universe. The Sky Father, with his far-reaching power, and the Earth Mother, with her gentle, sustaining strength, were the first parents, the creators of the gods who would follow, the ancestors of all living beings. The Proto-Indo-Europeans believed that every aspect of life was touched by the Sky Father and the Earth Mother. When they looked up at the sky, they saw the face of the Sky Father, his presence in the vast blue dome that stretched over their heads. When they planted their crops, they felt the Earth Mother's embrace, her spirit in the soil that nourished their food. The world was a reflection of these two gods, a living, breathing testament to their power and their love. The Sky Father was the protector of the people, the one who upheld the laws of the universe. His voice was heard in the roll of thunder, his anger in the flash of lightning. But he was also a god of justice, the one who ensured that the world remained in balance, that the forces of chaos were kept in check. The Proto-Indo-Europeans prayed to him for protection, for the strength to face the challenges of life, for the wisdom to make the right choices. They believed that the Sky Father watched over them, guiding their actions, ensuring that they followed the path of righteousness. The Earth Mother, on the other hand, was the giver of life, the nurturer of all things. Her love was felt in the warmth of the sun, in the gentle rains that brought life to the earth, and the rich harvests that fed the people. The Proto-Indo-Europeans honored her with offerings of grain and fruit, thanking her for the bounty she provided, for the food that sustained them, for the land that gave them shelter. They believed that the Earth Mother was always with them, her spirit in the trees that shaded their homes, and the rivers that quenched their thirst, and the flowers that bloomed in the fields. But the relationship between the Sky Father and the Earth Mother was not always peaceful. There were times when the sky would rage, when the storms would tear across the land, when the earth would tremble and crack. These moments of turmoil were a reminder of the power of these gods, of the fact that life was a delicate balance, that the forces of nature could not be controlled. The Proto-Indo-Europeans understood that these were not moments of anger, but of renewal, of the earth and sky coming together to bring change, to cleanse the world and prepare it for new life. The Sky Father and the Earth Mother were not distant or detached, they were intimately connected to the lives of the people. Every child born was a gift from the Earth Mother, every life taken a return to her embrace. The people saw themselves as her children, as part of the earth itself, their lives bound to the cycles of nature, to the rhythm of the seasons, to the eternal dance between the sky and the earth. When the people gathered for rituals, when they offered their prayers and sacrifices, they did so with a deep sense of reverence for these two great gods. The Sky Father and the Earth Mother were the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega of their world. The people understood that their lives were a gift from these deities, that their survival depended on the favor of the Sky Father and the generosity of the Earth Mother. In the end, the Proto-Indo-Europeans saw the Sky Father and the Earth Mother not just as gods, but as the very essence of the world they lived in. They were the sky above and the earth below, the breath in their lungs and the blood in their veins. Their myths were not just stories, but truths that shaped their understanding of life, that guided their actions, that gave meaning to their existence. The Sky Father and the Earth Mother were the heart and soul of the Proto-Indo-European people, the source of all life, the beginning of all things. And as long as the people remembered them, as long as they honored their gods with love and respect, they believed that the world would continue to thrive, that life would continue to flourish, just as it had since the dawn of time. Before the first breath of wind stirred the air, before the first ray of light touched the earth, the Sky Father and the Earth Mother were alone in the vastness. They were drawn to each other, not by chance, but by the deep, unspoken bond that existed between them, a connection as ancient as the universe itself. The Sky Father, with his all-seeing eyes, looked down upon the Earth Mother, and she, in turn, felt his presence with every beat of her heart. Their union was not like any other. It was the moment when the heavens met the earth, when the endless sky embraced the solid ground. The Sky Father, with his strength and power, descended from his lofty heights, and the Earth Mother, with her nurturing spirit, rose to meet him. As they came together, something extraordinary happened. Life began to stir within the earth, the seeds of creation took root, and the world as we know it was born. From their union, the mountains rose from the ground, their peaks reaching toward the sky, a testament to the power of the Sky Father and the Earth Mother. The rivers began to flow, winding their way through the valleys, bringing life to the land, just as the love between the Sky Father and the Earth Mother brought life to the world. The trees and plants sprang up from the earth, their roots digging deep into the soil, their branches reaching out to touch the sky. The world was coming to life, a living, breathing reflection of the love between these two great deities. The Sky Father, filled with pride at the sight of the world they had created, sent forth the sun to warm the earth, to give light and life to all that grew upon it. The sun rose each day, its golden rays kissing the land, bringing warmth and energy to the earth, helping the plants to grow, the rivers to flow, the animals to thrive. The Earth Mother, in her turn, nurtured the life that sprang from her, cradling it in her arms, giving it the sustenance it needed to survive. As time passed, the world flourished under their care. The animals roamed the forests and plains, the birds filled the skies with their songs, the fish swam in the rivers and seas. The people, too, were born from this union, their lives intertwined with the earth and sky, their spirits filled with the essence of the Sky Father and the Earth Mother. They built their homes on the land, they grew their food from the earth, they looked up to the sky for guidance and protection. They knew that their lives were a gift from these two great deities, that they were part of the world that had been created from their love. But the creation of the world was not without its challenges. There were moments of turmoil, when the forces of nature clashed, when the sky would grow dark with storm clouds, and the earth would tremble with the force of the storm. These were the times when the Sky Father and the Earth Mother had to work together to restore balance, to calm the storms, to bring peace back to the land. Their love was strong, but it was also tested, and it was through these tests that the world was shaped, molded into the place that we know today. The people understood that the world was not just a place, but a living entity, a creation that was born from the union of the Sky Father and the Earth Mother. They honored these deities in their rituals, in their prayers, in their everyday lives. They knew that the world was sacred, that it was their duty to care for it, to protect it, to ensure that it would continue to thrive for generations to come. The birth of the world was not just the beginning of life, but the beginning of a relationship that would endure for all time. The Sky Father and the Earth Mother were not just the creators, but the caretakers of the world. They watched over it, guided it, ensured that it would continue to grow and prosper. The people, too, were part of this relationship, their lives a reflection of the bond between the earth and sky, their existence a testament to the power of creation. And so, the world continued to thrive, a living, breathing testament to the love between the Sky Father and the Earth Mother. The mountains stood tall, the rivers flowed, the trees grew, the animals lived, the people thrived. The world was alive, filled with the energy of creation, filled with the love that had brought it into being. The people knew that as long as they honored the Sky Father and the Earth Mother, as long as they cared for the world that had been born from their union, life would continue, the world would endure, and the love that had created it would never fade. In the beginning, when the world was still new and the gods were shaping the fabric of existence, the cosmos was whole and undivided. Everything, light and darkness, life and death, sky and earth, existed together in a swirling, chaotic mass. But the gods knew that for life to flourish, there needed to be order, a structure to the universe that would allow all things to find their place. And so, they began the monumental task of dividing the cosmos, carving it into realms that would house the different aspects of existence. The first division was the most profound. The gods separated the heavens from the earth, creating a vast, open space where the Sky Father could rule. The heavens were the domain of light and air, a place where the sun, moon, and stars would shine, guiding the people below. This was where the gods would dwell, where they would look down upon the world they had created, watching over the lives of the people, guiding them, protecting them. The heavens were filled with light, with the energy of creation, a place of eternal day, where the gods moved freely, their power felt in every ray of sunshine and every gust of wind. Below the heavens lay the earth, the domain of the Earth Mother, where life would take root and flourish. The earth was a place of balance, where day met night, where life met death, where the people lived their lives, farming the land, raising their families, honoring the gods who had given them this gift. The earth was rich and fertile, filled with the promise of growth, a place where the people could build their homes, plant their crops, raise their children. It was a place of both peace and struggle, where the cycles of life played out, where the people were connected to the land, to the seasons, to the very soil beneath their feet. But the cosmos was not complete with just the heavens and the earth. There was another realm, one that lay beneath the earth, a place of darkness and mystery, where the dead would go when their time on earth was done. This was the underworld, a place where the spirits of the deceased would dwell, a realm ruled by gods who understood the mysteries of death, who guided the souls on their journey to the afterlife. The underworld was a place of silence, of reflection, where the souls of the dead would rest, waiting for the next phase of their existence. It was not a place of punishment, but a necessary part of the cosmos, a place where the cycle of life would continue, where the dead would find peace, and where the living could find solace in the knowledge that death was not the end, but a continuation of the journey. The division of the cosmos into heavens, earth, and underworld was more than just a physical separation. It was a reflection of the balance that the gods had brought to the universe, a way to ensure that all things had their place, that the forces of light and darkness, life and death, could coexist in harmony. The heavens, with their eternal light, were a reminder of the power of the gods, of their presence in the world, their ability to shape and guide the lives of the people. The earth, with its rich soil and vibrant life, was a testament to the nurturing power of the Earth Mother, to the love and care that she gave to all living things. And the underworld, with its quiet darkness, was a reminder of the inevitability of death, of the fact that life was a cycle, that death was a part of that cycle, a necessary step in the journey of the soul. The people understood this division, they felt it in their daily lives, in the way they worshipped the gods, and the way they lived their lives. They looked up to the heavens for guidance, for protection, for the light that would lead them through the darkness. They honored the earth, respecting its power, its ability to give life, to sustain them, to provide for their needs. And they acknowledged the underworld, understanding that death was not something to be feared, but a natural part of life, a step on the path that the gods had laid out for them. In their rituals, in their prayers, the people reflected this understanding. They offered their thanks to the Sky Father for the light of the sun, for the rains that nourished their crops, for the winds that carried their prayers to the heavens. They honored the Earth Mother with offerings of grain and fruit, thanking her for the bounty she provided, for the life that sprang from her soil. And they paid their respects to the gods of the underworld, offering gifts to the spirits of the dead, ensuring that their ancestors were at peace, that they were remembered, that their spirits could continue on their journey. The division of the cosmos was not just a division of space, but a division of time, of the cycles of life and death, of day and night, of the changing seasons. The heavens represented the eternal, the unchanging light of the gods, the earth represented the cycle of life, of growth and decay, and the underworld represented the final rest, the place where the cycle would begin again. The people lived their lives according to these cycles, planting their crops in the spring, harvesting in the summer, preparing for the winter, knowing that the cycle would continue, that life would go on, that the gods would continue to watch over them, to guide them, to protect them. And so, the cosmos was complete, a perfect balance of light and dark, of life and death, of heaven, earth, and underworld. The people lived their lives within this balance, understanding that they were part of a greater whole, that their lives were connected to the cycles of the cosmos, to the power of the gods, to the eternal dance of the heavens and the earth. They knew that as long as they honored the gods, as long as they respected the balance of the cosmos, they would be blessed, they would prosper, they would live in harmony with the world around them, with the heavens above, the earth below, and the underworld beneath their feet. Before the first dawn, when the cosmos was still in its infancy, there was no measure of days or nights, no rhythm to the passage of existence. Everything existed in a timeless void, where moments stretched endlessly and nothing changed. It was in this boundless eternity that the gods, wise and ancient, recognized the need for order, for a way to mark the flow of existence. They knew that for life to thrive, there must be a beginning and an end, a way to measure the growth of all things, to witness their rise and fall. And so, the gods brought forth time. Time was not born in a single moment, but emerged slowly, like the first breath of a newborn. The gods gathered in the heavens, their power and will united, and they breathed life into the void. With their breath, the first heartbeat of time was felt. The cosmos trembled as the first pulse of time spread through it, creating the first cycle, the rhythm of the seasons. The first cycle began with a whisper of warmth, as the gods' breath brought forth the first spring. It was a time of awakening, when the earth, once silent and still, began to stir. The soil, rich and fertile, welcomed the seeds that had been sown in its depths. With the coming of spring, the first buds appeared, tender and green, reaching toward the light. The air was filled with the scent of new life, and the world, for the first time, knew what it meant to grow, to change, to move forward. The people revered the Sky Father with a deep, abiding respect. They saw him as the source of life and light, the one who controlled the weather, the one who could bring rain to nourish their crops or send storms to challenge their strength. His influence was evident in every aspect of their lives. When the skies were clear and the sun shone brightly, they knew he was smiling upon them. When dark clouds gathered and the winds howled, they felt his power and knew to offer their prayers for protection. Worship of the Sky Father was a central part of their lives. In their villages, they built grand temples that reached toward the heavens, trying to get as close to him as possible. These temples were adorned with symbols of the sky, a golden sun, silver moons, and painted stars, all reflecting his vast domain. Priests and priestesses, chosen for their purity and devotion, led ceremonies to honor him. They offered sacrifices of the finest grains, the choicest fruits, and the most beautiful animals, believing that these gifts would earn his favor. Festivals dedicated to the Sky Father were times of great celebration. People gathered from all corners, bringing with them their best offerings. They sang songs of praise, their voices rising in unison to reach the sky. They danced in circles, their movements like the swirling clouds, their laughter echoing the joy of the heavens. During these festivals, the people felt a profound connection to the Sky Father, a sense of unity and belonging that bound them together in their shared reverence. The Sky Father's significance went beyond his role as a ruler. He was also seen as a symbol of order and justice. His presence was a reminder that there was a higher power watching over them, ensuring that balance and harmony were maintained. In times of hardship, when the earth was barren and the crops failed, the people turned to him with hope, trusting that he would restore balance and bring the rains they needed. They believed that his decisions were always for the greater good, guided by wisdom that surpassed human understanding. Legend spoke of the Sky Father's mighty deeds, of how he had crafted the heavens with his own hands, stretching the sky over the earth and placing the stars in their places. He was said to have battled the forces of chaos, his strength and courage bringing order to the universe. These stories were passed down from generation to generation, each retelling a testament to his power and majesty. They were more than just stories, they were a way for the people to express their gratitude, to remember the blessings he had bestowed upon them, and to remind themselves of his eternal presence. In their daily lives, the people often looked up to the sky, feeling a sense of awe and wonder. The rising sun was a sign of his watchful eye, the setting sun a promise of his return. The moon, with its soft light, was seen as a reflection of his gentler side, a reminder that even in darkness, there was a guiding light. They saw the changing seasons as his gift, a cycle that brought new life and opportunities, a rhythm that gave meaning to their existence. Even in moments of personal struggle or triumph, the Sky Father was present. When a child was born, the parents looked to the heavens and offered thanks for the new life, believing that the Sky Father had blessed their family. When a loved one passed away, they turned their eyes skyward, seeking comfort in the thought that the Sky Father would watch over the departed soul, guiding it to a place of peace. The Sky Father was not just a distant deity but a part of the very fabric of their lives. His influence was woven into their traditions, their rituals, and their understanding of the world. His power was felt in the beauty of the sunrise, the majesty of the storm, and the quiet serenity of a starlit night. He was the king of the gods, a presence that transcended time and space, a force that shaped their world and their lives. In every prayer, every festival, and every act of worship, the people expressed their reverence for the Sky Father. They honored him not just for the blessings he bestowed, but for the very essence of his being, for the reminder that they were part of something greater, something eternal. The Sky Father was more than a deity, he was the embodiment of their hopes, their dreams, and their connection to the cosmos. In the quiet embrace of the earth, where the gentle hum of life thrums beneath every blade of grass and every leaf, there exists a force so tender and powerful that it shapes every moment of existence. This force is the Earth Mother, the nurturing spirit of creation and fertility. Her presence is felt in the soft, yielding soil, in the lush growth of every plant, and in the endless cycle of life that renews itself with each passing season. The Earth Mother was not merely a deity but a living embodiment of the very essence of life. Her form, imagined as a figure cradling the world within her arms, symbolized her role as the sustainer and nurturer of all living things. She was seen as a great mother, whose love and care extended to every corner of the earth, from the towering mountains to the deepest valleys. Her influence was evident in the fertility of the soil, the abundance of the harvest, and the vitality of all living creatures. The people revered the Earth Mother with a profound sense of gratitude. They understood that without her, life would be impossible. Every seed that sprouted, every grain that grew, and every fruit that ripened was a testament to her generous gifts. They celebrated her presence in their daily lives, honoring her through rituals and offerings that expressed their thanks for the sustenance she provided. In the early days of spring, when the first shoots broke through the frost and the earth began to awaken from its winter slumber, the people turned to the Earth Mother with joy and reverence. They saw her as the source of new beginnings, the force that breathed life into the barren land. Festivals marked this season of renewal, with songs and dances that celebrated her nurturing spirit. The fields were blessed with offerings of the first fruits, and prayers were made for a bountiful harvest. The Earth Mother's role in these moments was clear. She was the giver of life, the one who made the world vibrant and alive once more. During the summer, when the sun poured its warmth upon the earth and the crops reached their peak, the people knew that this abundance was a gift from the Earth Mother. They worked diligently, tending to the fields with care, knowing that their efforts were rewarded by her generosity. The harvest was a time of celebration, where the fruits of their labor were offered back to her in gratitude. The Earth Mother was seen in every golden field, in every ripe apple, in every grain of wheat. Her role as a provider was cherished and honored, a reminder of the delicate balance of life that she maintained. As autumn arrived, bringing with it the rich hues of falling leaves and the promise of rest, the people prepared for the quiet season ahead. They knew that the Earth Mother was still at work, preparing the land for the winter's rest and ensuring that life would continue. They gathered the last of the harvest and stored it away, offering thanks to her for the abundance they had enjoyed. The cycle of life was evident in these moments, as the earth prepared to rest and rejuvenate for the coming spring. Winter brought a period of stillness, where the earth lay beneath a blanket of snow, and the world seemed to hold its breath. Yet even in this quiet, the Earth Mother's influence was felt. The snow, though cold, was a promise of renewal, a way of protecting the soil and preparing it for the new growth to come. The people understood that this was a time of rest, a necessary pause in the cycle of life. They honored the Earth Mother through the quiet of winter, reflecting on the gifts she had given and preparing for the return of spring. The Earth Mother's role extended beyond the changing seasons. She was also seen as the guardian of fertility and birth. Her presence was invoked during ceremonies of marriage and childbirth, as her nurturing energy was believed to bless these important moments. Expectant mothers prayed to her for safe delivery and healthy children, trusting in her protective and life-giving power. Her influence was felt in every aspect of creation, from the growth of crops to the nurturing of new life. Legends told of the Earth Mother's great acts of creation, of how she shaped the land with her hands, molding mountains, valleys, and rivers. Her power was evident in the natural world, and the beauty of the landscapes she created. These stories were passed down through generations, a way for the people to honor her and to remember the profound connection they had with the earth. They spoke of her as a figure of immense strength and kindness, a reminder of the delicate balance that sustained their lives. In their daily routines, the people carried the Earth Mother's presence with them. They understood that their survival depended on her, and they approached their work with a deep sense of respect and gratitude. The act of planting a seed was not just a task, but a sacred ritual, a way of participating in the cycle of life that she nurtured. They saw themselves as caretakers of her gifts, entrusted with the responsibility to honor and protect the earth. The Earth Mother's influence was felt in every aspect of life. Her nurturing presence was a constant reminder of the interconnectedness of all things, of the way that life was sustained through her generosity. She was a symbol of hope and renewal, a figure whose love and care shaped the world and ensured that life continued. In her embrace, the people found a sense of belonging and a deep appreciation for the natural world. The Earth Mother was more than a deity. She was the heartbeat of life, the source of all that grew and thrived, and the enduring reminder of the beauty and strength of creation. As dawn breaks and the first light spills over the horizon, a powerful figure stirs from his celestial slumber, ready to embark on a journey that will touch every corner of the earth. This figure is the sun god, the eternal bringer of light, whose daily voyage across the sky is a story of profound significance and awe. His journey is not just a celestial routine, but a dramatic saga of warmth, life, and divine might that shapes the world beneath him. Each morning, as the sky begins to glow with hues of gold and orange, the sun god rises from the eastern edge of the world, a radiant deity whose presence brings the promise of a new day. He is often depicted as a majestic being, with a crown of blazing fire and eyes that shine like the sun itself. His chariot, pulled by fiery steeds, cuts through the heavens, leaving a trail of light in its wake. The people watch in awe as he ascends, knowing that his journey marks the start of a new day filled with possibility and hope. The sun god's path across the sky is a spectacle of both beauty and power. His ascent from the east is greeted with celebrations and rituals, as the people honor him for the light and warmth he brings. They see his journey as a symbol of renewal and growth, a daily miracle that nurtures their crops, warms their homes, and brightens their lives. The sun god's light is more than just a physical phenomenon. It is a source of life and energy, a divine blessing that sustains their very existence. As he climbs higher, the sun god reaches the zenith of his journey, where his light is at its brightest and most intense. The sky blazes with his glory, casting a golden glow over the land. This is the moment of greatest strength, where his power is felt most acutely. The heat of his rays warms the earth, coaxing the seeds to sprout and the flowers to bloom. The people feel his warmth on their skin, a reassuring touch that signifies his presence and his care. The sun god's descent towards the western horizon is a time of reflection and gratitude. As he moves towards the end of his journey, the sky is painted with a stunning array of colors, fiery reds, soothing pinks, and deep purples, an exquisite display of his final gift of the day. The people gather to watch this daily spectacle, a moment of beauty that fills them with wonder and appreciation. They know that as the sun god sets, he will soon rise again, and with him, bring another day of light and life. At twilight, as the sun god disappears below the horizon, the world is left in the embrace of twilight's gentle hues. This is the time of day when the sun god's presence is felt in a more subtle, yet equally profound way. The coolness of the evening, the quiet hush that falls over the land, and the first stars that appear in the sky are all reminders of his divine journey. Even as he retreats, his influence lingers, a promise that his return is inevitable and that his light will soon grace the world once more. Legends speak of the sun god's battles against the forces of darkness, tales of how he defends the world from the encroaching night. These stories depict him as a heroic figure, fighting against shadows and chaos to ensure that light prevails. His strength and bravery are celebrated in these myths, reflecting the people's deep reverence for his role as the guardian of light. In these narratives, the sun god's daily journey becomes a symbol of hope and resilience, a reminder that even in the darkest times, light will triumph. The people's worship of the sun god is expressed through various ceremonies and traditions. At sunrise, they offer prayers of thanks, acknowledging the blessings of the new day. During solstices and equinoxes, special festivals are held to honor his power and to celebrate the cycles of the sun. These rituals are filled with songs, dances, and offerings that reflect their gratitude and their recognition of the sun god's central role in their lives. In every sunrise and sunset, the sun god's presence is felt and celebrated. His journey across the sky is a daily testament to his divine nature, a powerful display of his ability to bring light, warmth, and life to the world. The people look to the heavens with awe, knowing that the sun god's voyage is a miraculous event that connects them to the cosmos and to each other. His light is a symbol of hope, a reminder of the beauty and strength that grace their lives each day. As the sun rises and sets, the sun god's story unfolds, a timeless tale of light and power that touches the hearts of all who gaze upon him. His journey is not just a celestial event but a profound expression of divine love and care, a daily reminder of the extraordinary connection between the heavens and the earth. In the roar of thunder and the flash of lightning, there is a force of immense power and unyielding strength. This force is the storm god, a mighty figure whose presence is felt in every storm that sweeps across the land. His arrival is marked by the clash of thunder and the blinding brilliance of lightning, signals of his fierce and protective nature. The storm god is more than a deity of storms, he is a warrior of the heavens, a guardian whose actions shape the world below. When the sky darkens and the first rumbles of thunder echo across the horizon, the storm god is at work. His power is immense, his control over the elements awe-inspiring. The people look up with a mix of fear and reverence as his storms gather strength. These storms are not just natural events, they are a manifestation of his divine will, a reminder of his role as a protector and a warrior. In every crack of thunder and every flash of lightning, they see his strength and his commitment to safeguarding the community. The storm god's storms are both a blessing and a challenge. While they can bring much-needed rain to parched fields and replenish the earth, they also come with fierce winds and torrential downpours that can cause destruction. This duality reflects the storm god's role as a figure of balance, whose power can both create and destroy. His storms are a testament to his might, a reminder of the natural forces he commands. The people respect this power, understanding that it is both a gift and a force that must be handled with care. In times of battle and conflict, the storm god is a figure of immense significance. His presence in the form of a storm can turn the tide of a battle, his lightning strikes seen as divine intervention. Warriors and leaders invoke his name, hoping for his support and protection. They believe that his storms can disorient their enemies, bring confusion to their ranks, and provide a powerful advantage. The storm god's role as a warrior extends beyond the physical realm. He is also seen as a protector of justice and righteousness, fighting against forces of chaos and evil. Legends and myths tell of the storm god's great battles, stories of how he waged war against giants and monsters, using his storms as weapons. These tales are filled with dramatic scenes of lightning bolts cutting through the darkness and thunder echoing like the roar of a mighty beast. In these myths, the storm god's power is depicted as both awe-inspiring and fearsome, a reminder of the strength that lies in the natural world. His victories are celebrated, and his ability to protect the community is honored through rituals and prayers. The people's relationship with the storm god is one of deep respect and devotion. They understand the importance of his role and offer him their gratitude through ceremonies and sacrifices. During storms, they seek his favor, hoping for his protection and guidance. They see him as a guardian who watches over them, ensuring their safety and well-being. His role in their lives is marked by both reverence and a sense of awe, as they recognize the immense power he wields and the crucial role he plays in their existence. In times of peace, the storm god's influence is felt in more subtle ways. The rains he brings nurture the land, allowing crops to grow and fields to flourish. His storms, while sometimes harsh, are ultimately a part of the cycle of life, ensuring that the earth remains fertile and productive. The people express their thanks for these blessings, understanding that the storm god's power is integral to their prosperity. They honor him not just in times of conflict, but also in moments of abundance and growth. The storm god's presence is a constant reminder of the power and majesty of the natural world. His storms, with their thunderous roars and dazzling lightning, are a reflection of his divine nature, a testament to his ability to shape the world through his will. His role as a protector and a warrior is celebrated in every storm, every rumble of thunder, and every flash of lightning. The people look to the heavens with awe and gratitude, knowing that the storm god's power is both a gift and a force of nature that must be respected. In the quiet moments between storms, the storm god's influence continues to be felt. The people see his impact in the fertility of the land and the abundance of their harvests. His storms may bring temporary chaos, but they also bring renewal and growth. The cycle of life, marked by his storms, is a testament to his role as a divine protector and nurturer. His presence in their lives is a source of comfort and strength, a reminder of the powerful force that shapes their world and ensures their survival. The storm god's role in the pantheon is one of profound significance. His storms, his battles, and his protection of the community are central to the myths and legends that define the people's understanding of the natural world. His power is a source of both fear and reverence, a reminder of the delicate balance between creation and destruction. The people honor him through their rituals, their stories, and their daily lives, knowing that his influence is a crucial part of their existence. In every storm, in every bolt of lightning, and in every rumble of thunder, the storm god's presence is felt and celebrated, a testament to his role as the mighty warrior of the heavens. As the first light of day begins to stretch across the sky, a gentle, radiant figure heralds the arrival of a new dawn. This is the goddess of dawn, a divine presence whose role is woven into the very fabric of the daily cycle. Each morning, she paints the sky with hues of pink and gold, marking the transition from the quiet darkness of night to the vibrant promise of a new day. With the first glimmer of dawn, the goddess of dawn emerges from her celestial abode, her presence felt in the soft, welcoming light that starts to dispel the shadows. She is often depicted with a flowing robe of delicate colors, her aura a blend of the soft pinks and warm oranges that characterize the morning sky. Her arrival is marked by a gentle brilliance, a tender promise of hope and renewal. As she moves across the heavens, she ushers in the light that will fill the world with warmth and possibility. The goddess of dawn is not merely a figure of light, she embodies the very essence of new beginnings. Her presence brings an end to the night's darkness, a reminder that each day is a fresh start filled with endless potential. As she stretches her arms towards the horizon, the darkness retreats, giving way to the light of day. This transition is a powerful symbol of hope and rebirth, a daily reminder that no matter how long or dark the night may be, the dawn will always come. Her role in the daily cycle is profound and symbolic. The goddess of dawn is seen as a bridge between night and day, a guardian who ensures that each morning is a chance to begin anew. The beauty of her light, which gently bathes the world in its soft glow, inspires the people to rise with renewed energy and optimism. Her arrival is a time of transition, a moment when the world is awakened to the possibilities of the day ahead. Every morning, as the sky transforms from the deep blues of night to the brilliant colors of dawn, the goddess of dawn's influence is evident. The gradual shift in light is a testament to her gentle power, a reflection of her role in bringing forth the new day. This transformation is not just a physical change, but an emotional and spiritual one as well. It is a reminder that with each dawn, there is an opportunity for growth, healing, and renewal. The people celebrate the goddess of dawn with rituals and prayers, expressing their gratitude for the light she brings. They understand that her daily gift of daylight is essential for life and growth, and they honor her through various ceremonies that mark the beginning of each new day. Her light is a symbol of hope, a beacon that guides them through their daily lives and reminds them of the endless possibilities that lie ahead. In the quiet moments just before dawn, the world is filled with a sense of anticipation. The goddess of dawn's approach is heralded by a soft, shimmering light that gradually spreads across the sky. This moment of transition is a time of reflection and renewal, a chance to set intentions for the day and to embrace the opportunities that lie ahead. Her presence is felt in the gentle warmth that begins to spread, a promise of a day filled with potential and promise. As the day unfolds, the goddess of dawn's influence remains a part of the people's lives. Her light nurtures the earth, helping crops to grow and flowers to bloom. The warmth she provides is essential for the rhythm of life, ensuring that the world remains vibrant and full of energy. The people feel a deep connection to her, knowing that her presence is a constant source of support and inspiration. At the end of the day, as the sun sets and night begins to fall, the goddess of dawn retreats, making way for the evening's tranquility. Her departure is a gentle reminder that the night will come, but it is also a promise that a new dawn will follow. The cycle continues, with each dawn bringing with it a sense of renewal and hope. The people look forward to her return, knowing that her light is a symbol of the endless opportunities that each new day brings. The goddess of dawn's role in the daily cycle is one of profound significance. Her light is not just a physical phenomenon but a powerful symbol of hope, renewal, and the promise of a new beginning. Each morning, as her light touches the world, it brings with it a sense of possibility and optimism. Her presence is a reminder that every day is a chance to start anew, to embrace the beauty of life, and to look forward to the endless opportunities that lie ahead. In the heart of ancient myths, there are tales of two divine twins who stand as beacons of hope and courage. These twin gods, born of celestial power and woven into the very fabric of the cosmos, embody the strength and unity needed to protect humanity from the forces that threaten to overwhelm it. Their stories are not just legends, they are powerful reminders of the divine guardianship that watches over the world. The twin gods are often depicted as inseparable companions, each complementing the other's strengths and abilities. Their bond is a symbol of unity and balance, a divine partnership that reflects the harmony required to safeguard humanity. In times of crisis and conflict, they emerge as saviors and warriors, their combined might serving as a formidable force against chaos and darkness. One of the most compelling aspects of their myth is their role as protectors. When danger looms, the twin gods are there to defend the weak and uphold justice. Their bravery is legendary, and their actions are described in awe-inspiring detail. With every battle they face, they demonstrate an unyielding commitment to their mission of safeguarding the world from harm. They are not just warriors, they are symbols of hope, embodying the belief that even in the darkest moments, there is always a light that can drive away the shadows. Their tales often involve epic battles against monstrous foes and formidable adversaries. Each victory they achieve is celebrated with reverence, as it represents not just a triumph over evil but also the reassurance that the forces of good will always prevail. The twin gods' courage in the face of overwhelming odds is a source of inspiration, reminding people that no matter how dire the situation, there is always a chance for redemption and victory. The myths also highlight their roles as saviors. In times of great peril, when humanity faces threats that seem insurmountable, the twin gods step in to offer their protection. Their presence is a promise of divine intervention, a reminder that they are watching over the world and will act when needed. This sense of security is deeply comforting, providing a sense of hope that even when faced with unimaginable challenges, there is always a force working to ensure the safety and well-being of humanity. Their stories are filled with moments of intense emotion, capturing the essence of their protective nature. Whether it is rescuing a village from an invading army or guiding lost souls through treacherous landscapes, the twin gods are portrayed as unwavering in their dedication. Their compassion and bravery shine through in every tale, painting a vivid picture of their role as guardians of the human spirit. The divine twins are also celebrated for their ability to bring harmony and balance to the world. Their partnership reflects the importance of unity in achieving greatness. They are often depicted as working together seamlessly, their combined efforts creating a powerful force that can overcome any obstacle. This depiction serves as a powerful reminder of the strength that comes from cooperation and mutual support. In many myths, their actions are accompanied by signs and omens, marking their divine presence. The skies may darken or the earth may tremble as they prepare for battle, signaling their arrival to those in need. These signs are a testament to their power and the profound impact they have on the world. They are not just distant deities, they are actively involved in the affairs of humanity, their presence felt in every moment of triumph and struggle. The divine twins' legacy is one of enduring courage and protection. Their stories are passed down through generations, each retelling a reminder of the divine guardianship that watches over humanity. Their myths are not just ancient tales, but living symbols of hope and strength, embodying the timeless belief that there is always a force greater than the challenges faced. As protectors of humanity, the twin gods represent the very essence of divine intervention and guardianship. Their roles as saviors and warriors are central to their myth, showcasing their unwavering commitment to safeguarding the world. Their presence is a beacon of hope, reminding people that even in the face of great adversity, there is always a divine force working to protect and support them. In every story and every battle they fight, the twin gods shine as symbols of courage, unity, and hope. Their legacy continues to inspire, their myths serving as a powerful reminder of the divine protection that watches over humanity. Through their tales, the twin gods live on as eternal champions, embodying the belief that there is always a light in the darkness and a force ready to stand against the shadows. In the quiet warmth of a home, where the hearth crackles softly and the scent of cooking fills the air, the goddess of the hearth watches over. Her presence is felt in the gentle glow of the fire, the very heart of the home. She is the guardian of warmth and comfort, the divine protector of family and sacred fire. Her connection to the hearth is not just about physical warmth, but about the emotional and spiritual bonds that hold a family together. The goddess of the hearth is often envisioned as a nurturing figure, her spirit intertwined with the flames that flicker and dance in the hearth. She embodies the essence of home, the place where hearts find solace and where lives are shared. Her divine role is to ensure that the fire within the hearth never dies, symbolizing the eternal light of love and unity that keeps a family close. Every evening, as the sun sets and the world outside grows dark, the hearth becomes a beacon of light and warmth. The goddess of the hearth is believed to dwell within this sacred fire, her presence felt in the soft, golden glow that spreads across the room. Her fire is more than just a source of heat, it is a source of life and comfort, bringing families together around its warmth. Her connection to the home is profound. She is the protector of the household, ensuring that it remains a place of safety and peace. The hearth is her domain, a sacred space where she watches over those gathered around it. Her blessings are sought for protection from harm and for the prosperity of the home. Each meal prepared at the hearth is considered an offering to her, a gesture of gratitude for the warmth and sustenance she provides. The goddess of the hearth also represents the enduring bonds of family. Her presence is a reminder of the importance of togetherness and the comfort found in shared moments. The hearth is not just a physical space, but a symbol of the emotional warmth that binds family members. In her divine fire, families find a place to come together, to share their stories, and to nurture their relationships. The hearth is where laughter echoes, where sorrows are soothed, and where love is continually rekindled. In times of celebration and sorrow, the goddess of the hearth is a constant presence. During festive gatherings, her fire is a source of joy and festivity, illuminating the space with a warm, inviting glow. At times of hardship, her fire offers solace and hope, reminding those gathered that they are never alone. Her presence is a comforting embrace, a divine assurance that the home will always be a place of refuge. The rituals and offerings made to the goddess of the hearth are filled with deep respect and love. Families often light candles or small fires in her honor, dedicating their warmth and light to her divine presence. These rituals are more than mere traditions, They are acts of devotion, a way to acknowledge her role in their lives and to express gratitude for the comfort she brings. In every home, the hearth is a symbol of her divine essence. The goddess of the hearth's influence is felt in every crackling flame, every comforting meal, and every shared moment of warmth. Her presence transforms the mundane into the sacred, turning a simple fire into a divine beacon of love and protection. Her connection to the hearth also extends to the fire's role in everyday life. The act of cooking becomes a sacred ritual, with the goddess of the hearth blessing the food and ensuring it nurtures those who partake in it. The warmth of the hearth is a reminder that life's most precious moments are often found in the simple, everyday experiences shared with loved ones. As the fire burns, the goddess of the hearth remains a vigilant guardian. Her warmth wraps around the home, providing not only physical comfort but emotional and spiritual security. Her presence is a gentle reminder that the home is a sanctuary, a sacred space where love and unity thrive. In the soft, flickering light of the hearth, the goddess of the hearth continues to watch over and protect. Her divine warmth is a constant presence, a reassuring force that ensures the home remains a haven of comfort and love. Each flame, each glow, and each shared moment around the hearth is a tribute to her enduring spirit, a celebration of the divine warmth that binds families together and makes the house a true home. In the whisper of the wind through ancient forests, the murmur of a river's current, and the majestic silence of towering mountains, the spirits of nature hold sway. These spirits are not mere figments of the imagination but revered beings that embody the essence of the natural world in Proto-Indo-European mythology. Their presence is felt in every rustling leaf, flowing stream, and craggy peak, and they play a vital role in the harmony and balance of the world. The rivers, with their clear, rushing waters, are seen as living entities, their currents alive with divine energy. They are not just sources of life, but sacred beings that carry the essence of vitality and renewal. People honor these river spirits, believing that they have the power to heal, to cleanse, and to offer guidance. The river is a lifeline, nurturing the land and those who live upon it. Its spirit is both a protector and a giver, offering sustenance and prosperity to those who respect its flow. Rituals and offerings are made at riverbanks, a gesture of gratitude for the life-giving waters and a plea for continued blessings. Forests, too, are alive with the presence of spirits. Each tree, rock, and glade is thought to be inhabited by a spirit that holds the wisdom of the earth. The forest is a place of mystery and magic, where the veil between the human world and the divine is thin. The spirits of the forest are guardians of the land, watching over animals and plants, ensuring that the cycles of nature continue unhindered. They are revered for their role in maintaining the balance of life, and their presence is felt in the quiet rustling of leaves and the soft light that filters through the canopy. In these sacred groves, people find a deep connection to the divine, and offerings are made to honor the spirits that dwell within. Mountains stand as timeless sentinels, their peaks reaching towards the heavens. The spirits of the mountains are powerful and awe-inspiring, embodying strength, endurance, and stability. These spirits are often seen as protectors of the land, their presence ensuring that the world remains steadfast and unchanging. The grandeur of the mountains evokes a sense of reverence and humility, and their spirits are honored with rituals that acknowledge their role in upholding the balance of nature. People seek the blessings of the mountain spirits for guidance, protection, and strength, believing that their power can inspire and uplift. The veneration of these natural spirits is not just about worship but about a deep, reciprocal relationship with the world. The Proto-Indo-European peoples understood that their lives were intertwined with nature, and their respect for the river spirits, forest guardians, and mountain deities reflected a profound awareness of this connection. They recognized that the health of the land was linked to their own well-being and that maintaining harmony with the spirits of nature was essential for a prosperous and fulfilling life. Every aspect of the natural world was seen as imbued with divine significance. The rhythmic cycles of the rivers, the changing seasons in the forests, and the unyielding majesty of the mountains were all seen as manifestations of the divine. The spirits of nature were not distant or separate but intimately connected to the everyday experiences of life. This connection was celebrated through festivals, rituals, and offerings that honored the spirits and sought their favor. In the quiet moments of reflection by a river, the peaceful solitude of a forest walk, or the awe-inspiring view from a mountain peak, the presence of these natural spirits can be felt. They are reminders of the sacredness of the world, the divine energy that flows through every living thing. The reverence for these spirits reflects a deep understanding of the interconnectedness of all life and a recognition of the divine presence in the natural world. The spirits of nature, rivers, forests, and mountains, are not just elements of mythology but vital forces that shape the world and guide those who honor them. Their roles in Proto-Indo-European mythology highlight the importance of living in harmony with nature and recognizing the divine presence in the world around us. Their stories and the rituals dedicated to them are a testament to the enduring connection between humanity and the natural world, a connection that continues to inspire and touch the hearts of those who seek to understand and honor the sacredness of life. In the shadowy realms beneath the earth, where light fades and silence reigns, the myths of the Proto-Indo-European world paint a haunting picture of the afterlife. These ancient stories, filled with mystery and reverence, tell of a hidden world where souls journey after death, governed by deities whose roles are both fearsome and protective. The underworld, as envisioned by the Proto-Indo-Europeans, is not merely a place of darkness but a domain of profound significance. It is where the souls of the departed find their final rest, guided and overseen by powerful gods who ensure the balance between life and death. The underworld is a place where the souls of the dead are cared for and judged, a realm that is as much about the continuation of existence as it is about the end of life. At the helm of this shadowy realm is the ruler of the underworld, a deity whose presence commands both awe and respect. This figure is often depicted as stern but just, holding the power to judge the souls who enter their domain. The underworld god is not just a guardian of the dead but a protector of the balance between the living and the deceased. Their role is to maintain the order of the afterlife, ensuring that every soul finds its rightful place. In these myths, the journey to the underworld is often portrayed as both daunting and sacred. The path is treacherous, filled with challenges that test the soul's worthiness. The river Styx, or its equivalent in Proto-Indo-European myths, is a boundary that souls must cross, guided by a ferrying deity who ensures that only those deemed worthy can pass. This journey is a profound metaphor for the trials of life and the quest for redemption. Once in the underworld, the souls are met by deities who oversee their final resting place. These gods are both stern and compassionate, ensuring that the souls are treated with the respect they deserve. The underworld is not a place of torment, but a realm where the souls find their place according to their deeds in life. The myths speak of a final judgment, where the actions of the departed are weighed, and their fate is decided. This judgment is not merely a punishment, but a reflection of the life they led, a way of ensuring that the balance of the cosmos is maintained. The afterlife is portrayed as a continuation of existence, albeit in a different form. It is a place where the dead are not forgotten but are part of a larger cosmic order. The underworld is a realm of rest and reflection, where souls can find peace or await their reincarnation. The myths suggest that the connection between the living and the dead remains strong, with rituals and offerings made to honor the ancestors and seek their guidance. These stories also reflect the Proto-Indo-European belief in the cyclical nature of life and death. The underworld is not an end, but a transition, a necessary part of the eternal cycle of existence. The souls in the underworld are seen as integral to the ongoing cycle of life, their presence ensuring the continuity of the world above. In these ancient beliefs, death is not feared but understood as a part of life's journey. The underworld gods, with their solemn duties and protective nature, embody the respect and reverence that the Proto-Indo-Europeans had for the mysteries of the afterlife. Their role is crucial in maintaining the balance of the cosmos, ensuring that the souls of the departed find their rightful place and that the living continue to honor and remember them. The myths of the underworld and its deities offer a glimpse into a world where death is seen not as an end, but as a passage, a transition to another realm of existence. These stories, filled with emotion and reverence, highlight the Proto-Indo-European understanding of the afterlife as a continuation of the cosmic order, where the balance between life and death is carefully maintained by the gods who watch over both realms. In the swirling mists of ancient myth, where gods and spirits danced on the edge of human understanding, the trickster figures emerged as enigmatic forces of change and chaos. These beings, with their clever antics and unpredictable actions, played a crucial role in Proto-Indo-European mythology, challenging the established order and revealing the deeper truths of existence. Picture a world where everything is orderly, where the gods maintain a careful balance of the cosmos and every being knows its place. In such a world, the trickster appears like a storm, shaking the heavens and the earth with laughter and mischief. Their actions, often unpredictable and unconventional, disrupt the status quo, forcing both gods and mortals to confront their assumptions and adapt to new realities. The trickster figures in Proto-Indo-European mythology are not mere pranksters, they are powerful agents of change. Their deeds, though sometimes causing chaos, are deeply intertwined with the fabric of existence. They challenge the gods, disrupt cosmic order, and bring about transformations that ripple through the world. In doing so, they expose the hidden flaws in the existing order and pave the way for renewal and growth. One of the most striking aspects of these tricksters is their dual nature. They embody both creation and destruction, wisdom and folly. They are the spark that ignites change, yet they also reveal the vulnerabilities of the divine and the mundane. Their actions are often driven by a desire to break free from constraints, to test boundaries, and to push the limits of what is known. This duality makes them both feared and revered, for they hold the power to both disrupt and transform. Imagine a trickster who, through a seemingly trivial act, sets off a chain of events that reshapes the world. Their pranks might seem harmless or foolish at first, but they often carry profound consequences. Through their antics, they reveal the fragility of the established order and force everyone to question their beliefs and practices. They are the cosmic jester, whose laughter echoes through the ages, reminding gods and mortals alike that change is inevitable and that the boundaries of the universe are not as fixed as they might appear. The trickster's role extends beyond mere disruption. They also play a vital part in storytelling and mythology. Through their actions, they bring to light the complexities of existence, the interplay between order and chaos, and the delicate balance that holds the world together. Their stories are filled with moments of tension and release, of conflict and resolution, reflecting the ever-changing nature of life itself. In the myths, the trickster often operates on the fringes of the divine order, using their wit and cunning to navigate between worlds. They might deceive gods, outwit powerful beings, or undertake daring quests that challenge conventional wisdom. Through these actions, they reveal the limitations of divine power and the resilience of human spirit. Their adventures are not just entertaining tales, but profound reflections on the nature of reality and the role of individuals in shaping their destinies. The trickster also embodies the spirit of rebellion and freedom. They reject the constraints of tradition and convention, embracing a more fluid and dynamic view of the world. Their actions, while sometimes chaotic, reflect a deeper understanding of the need for change and adaptation. They remind us that progress often comes from challenging the status quo and that true wisdom lies in embracing the unexpected. In Proto-Indo-European mythology, the trickster figures are essential for understanding the balance between order and chaos. They are the catalysts for transformation, the bringers of both laughter and insight. Their stories, filled with humor and wisdom, offer a glimpse into the complex and ever-evolving nature of existence. Through their antics and adventures, they teach us that life is a dance between the predictable and the unpredictable, the known and the unknown, and that true understanding comes from embracing both. These tricksters, with their mischievous hearts and boundless creativity, embody the essence of change itself. They remind us that even in a world governed by gods and cosmic forces, there is always room for the unexpected. Their tales, though often filled with chaos and confusion, ultimately reveal the deeper truths of existence, showing us that the path to enlightenment is not always straight or orderly, but rather a winding journey through the ever-changing landscape of life. At the edge of every world, where the known gives way to the unknown, deities and spirits stand watch. They guard the boundaries, the thresholds between different realms of existence. These beings are not just symbols, they are the silent sentinels of every journey, every transformation, and every change. Imagine a world where every doorway, every path, every crossing is alive with meaning. Here, the thresholds are not mere physical spaces, but sacred points of transition, each watched over by beings whose very essence is tied to the liminal spaces between worlds. These guardians are both feared and revered, for they are the keepers of the passage from one state of being to another. In the Proto-Indo-European tradition, these guardians take on many forms. They might be spirits who dwell at the edges of forests, at the boundaries of rivers, or at the crossroads of roads. They stand as the gatekeepers between human life and the divine, between the living and the dead, between the known world and the mysterious beyond. Their role is crucial, for they ensure that these transitions are navigated with respect and understanding. One can almost feel the tension in the air at a threshold. It is a place where the ordinary becomes extraordinary, where the simple act of crossing from one side to another holds great significance. The guardian spirits here are often depicted with stern faces and powerful presences, their job being to protect the sanctity of the boundary they oversee. They hold the power to grant passage or deny it, depending on the respect and honor shown. Consider the spirit of a crossroads. In many traditions, these places are seen as the intersections of fate and destiny. The crossroads are where choices are made, where decisions alter the course of lives. Here, the guardian is often depicted as a figure who knows the future and the past, a being who sees the interconnectedness of all paths. They are there not only to protect, but also to guide, helping travelers make choices that align with their true path. These guardians also watch over the boundaries between life and death. The transition from the living world to the afterlife is fraught with uncertainty, and the spirits who guard this passage ensure that souls are treated with respect and dignity. They are the ones who help souls find their way, who protect the sanctity of this final journey, making sure that the crossing is made with the proper rites and reverence. At the edge of a forest or the shore of a river, guardians might take the form of spirits that embody the natural elements. They are the protectors of these sacred spaces, ensuring that the natural world remains balanced and unharmed. They are deeply connected to the cycles of nature, and their presence reminds humans of the importance of maintaining harmony with the environment. To enter these spaces without acknowledging their guardians is to risk upsetting the natural order, and thus, these spirits are honored with rituals and offerings. In the mythology, these guardians are not always benign. They can be fierce protectors who demand respect and compliance. They may test those who seek to cross their boundaries, challenging them to prove their worthiness. These tests often involve trials of character or knowledge, and those who pass are granted safe passage, while those who fail may find themselves lost or turned away. The guardians of thresholds and boundaries also symbolize the deeper truths of existence. They represent the moments in life when one must pause, reflect, and make a decision. They remind us that every transition, every change, is significant and should be approached with thoughtfulness and care. Their presence in myth serves as a powerful reminder that the spaces between worlds are not to be taken lightly, and that respect for these boundaries is essential for harmony and balance. In every culture and tradition, these guardians hold a special place in the collective imagination. They are the keepers of secrets, the protectors of sacred spaces, and the symbols of the profound mysteries that lie beyond the everyday world. Their stories and attributes reflect the universal human experience of crossing boundaries, whether physical, spiritual, or emotional. As you stand at the edge of a threshold, you might feel a shiver, a sense of the sacredness of the moment. It is as if the air itself holds its breath, and you are acutely aware of the significance of the crossing. The guardians of these spaces are the silent witnesses to every journey, every transformation, and every choice, reminding us of the power and importance of the boundaries we encounter in our lives. At the dawn of creation, when the world was still new and the gods were finding their places, a profound act took place. In the silent expanse where chaos once reigned, a miracle happened: humanity was born. This creation story, told in whispers and songs, is one of the most touching myths ever shared. In the beginning, when the sky was young and the earth still felt like a fresh canvas, the gods decided to shape beings who would walk the world with hearts full of dreams and hands capable of crafting wonders. They wanted companions who would cherish their gifts and continue the work of creation. And so, the gods shaped humans from the very elements that made up the world around them. From the dust of the earth, they formed the first men and women. They molded them with care, giving them form and function, breath and life. The soil, rich and fertile, was not just a backdrop but a vital part of their being. They were created from the same stuff that gave life to the flowers, the trees, and the mountains. The first humans were intimately connected to the land, their bodies resonating with the heartbeat of the earth. But the gods did not just create humans and leave them to fend for themselves. They bestowed upon them a special gift, consciousness. The gods breathed into them a spark of divinity, an awareness that set them apart from the other creatures of the world. This divine breath was a connection to the gods themselves, a reminder that they were more than mere creations, they were also bearers of the divine essence. The gods gave humans the ability to think, to dream, and to create. They endowed them with emotions and passions, with the capacity to love and to sorrow. These gifts were not just about making life richer, but also about forging a bond between the gods and humanity. Each human was a reflection of the divine, a bridge between the heavenly and the earthly. As humans lived and learned, their connection to the gods became a central part of their existence. They built temples and offered sacrifices, not out of fear but out of a deep sense of gratitude and reverence. The gods, in turn, watched over them, guiding them through their trials and triumphs. They saw in humans not just their creations, but their beloved children. The gods' involvement in human affairs was a testament to the depth of their care. They were present in moments of joy and sorrow, in triumphs and defeats. They were the unseen hands that guided the destinies of individuals and the fate of nations. The divine spark within each person was a constant reminder that they were never alone, that the gods were always a part of their lives. In the stories told around fires and in the quiet moments of reflection, the creation of humanity is a reminder of the sacred connection that exists between the divine and the mortal. It is a tale of love and responsibility, of creation and care. The gods did not just create humans, they wove themselves into the very fabric of human existence. This creation story is more than a myth, it is a living truth that continues to inspire and touch hearts. It speaks of a profound relationship that transcends time and space, of beings who were made from the earth and touched by the divine. It is a reminder that every person carries within them a piece of the divine, a link to the gods who created them. As the first humans walked the earth, they did so with the knowledge that they were part of something greater, something timeless. Their lives were intertwined with the divine, and their stories were a testament to the love and care that the gods had bestowed upon them. This sacred connection is a reminder that every human life is precious and filled with meaning, that each person is a reflection of the divine creation. A storm gathered on the horizon, unlike any the world had seen before. Dark clouds rolled in, their shadows casting an ominous pall over the land. The air crackled with a sense of foreboding as the heavens prepared to unleash their fury. And then, it began, the Great Flood, a cataclysmic torrent that would wash away the world and lay the foundation for its rebirth. The floodwaters surged with a relentless force, overwhelming the land and swallowing everything in their path. Rivers burst their banks, oceans rose up, and torrents of rain fell from the sky as if the heavens themselves were crying out. Mountains, once steadfast and proud, were swallowed by the rising tides. Forests that had stood for centuries were uprooted and carried away. The roar of the flood was deafening, a symphony of destruction that seemed to echo through every corner of existence. Amidst the chaos and devastation, there were few who survived. Among them was a lone figure, a symbol of hope and perseverance. This person, chosen by the gods or fate, clung to the remnants of a great vessel, a ship built to withstand the storm's fury. As the flood swept across the world, this figure and the handful of others aboard the vessel watched in silence, their hearts heavy with the weight of loss, but filled with a glimmer of hope. Days turned into nights, and the flood showed no signs of relenting. The vessel bobbed on an endless sea, drifting through a world transformed into a watery abyss. But within the confines of the ship, a new story was unfolding. The survivors took stock of their provisions and shared stories of their past lives, finding solace in their shared experiences and the knowledge that they were not alone. And then, one day, the rain stopped. The floodwaters began to recede, revealing a world that was both familiar and foreign. The survivors, weary but resolute, stepped out of their vessel and looked upon the earth with eyes full of wonder and sadness. Where once there had been lush forests and bustling towns, there was now a blank canvas waiting to be painted anew. As the waters continued to recede, life began to stir once more. The survivors worked tirelessly to nurture the earth back to health. They planted seeds in the fertile soil, hoping to coax life back from the brink of extinction. With every seed they sowed, they honored the memory of what had been lost and expressed their gratitude for the chance to begin again. In the midst of this rebirth, the survivors found new purpose. They built homes and communities, drawing upon their ancient wisdom and the lessons learned from the flood. The cycle of life continued, but it was imbued with a deeper understanding of fragility and resilience. The flood had washed away not just the physical world, but also the old ways of thinking, leaving behind a renewed sense of connection and hope. The story of the Great Flood and the subsequent rebirth became a powerful symbol in their culture, a reminder of the destructive power of nature and the capacity for renewal. It was a tale passed down through generations, a story of loss and survival that touched the hearts of all who heard it. Through their hardships and triumphs, the survivors had learned that even in the darkest of times, there was always the possibility of a new beginning. This story, while originating from a time of great upheaval, carried with it a profound message of hope and renewal. It reminded those who heard it of the power of resilience and the importance of cherishing the new beginnings that arise from the ashes of destruction. The Great Flood had been a trial of immense proportions, but it had also been a catalyst for a fresh start, a chance to rebuild and to dream once more. In the heart of the cosmos, a storm was brewing, one unlike any the world had ever seen. The gods, once united in their celestial harmony, were now torn apart by jealousy and power. An epic battle was on the horizon, one that would shake the very foundations of existence. The air crackled with tension as the gods prepared for war. Thunder rumbled through the heavens, and the skies darkened as divine armies assembled. The warriors of light, led by the righteous Skyfather, stood in stark contrast to the shadowy forces of the underworld, commanded by the formidable ruler of the dark realms. Each side was fierce and unyielding, their rage fueled by ancient grudges and a thirst for dominance. The clash began with a roar that seemed to echo through every corner of the universe. Lightning flashed as the gods hurled bolts of raw energy at each other, their battles turning the heavens into a chaotic battlefield. The very stars trembled as divine powers collided, and the earth below felt the shockwaves of their fury. Mountains crumbled, and oceans churned as if reacting to the gods' struggle. Amidst the chaos, the goddess of dawn, who once heralded the start of each new day, was now caught in the crossfire. Her radiant light flickered as she fought desperately to restore balance, her grace dimming under the weight of the conflict. Her struggle to mend the broken sky was a poignant symbol of the world's suffering, a reminder of the delicate beauty being torn asunder. The storm god, a figure of strength and might, unleashed his fury upon the battlefield. His roars of thunder and torrents of rain were both a weapon and a shield, protecting his allies while wreaking havoc upon his enemies. His presence was a powerful force, his wrath a force of nature that mirrored the storm raging in the heavens. But the gods' battle was not just a display of raw power. It was a struggle of ideals and convictions, with each deity fighting not only for control but for their vision of order and justice. The cosmic egg, once the symbol of creation and unity, was now shattered, its fragments scattered across the universe. The very fabric of reality seemed to be unraveling, torn between the opposing forces. As the war dragged on, the consequences became clear. The once vibrant cosmos was now a fractured and scarred place. The clash of gods had left scars upon the earth and the heavens. The sun dimmed as the divine light waned, and the stars were obscured by the smoke of battle. The world, once a place of harmony, was now a battlefield of discord and destruction. The war also had a profound impact on the gods themselves. The once mighty warriors were left weary and wounded, their divine forms scarred by the battle. The cost of their conflict was evident not just in the shattered heavens, but in the toll it took on their spirits. The divine beings who had once stood as symbols of power and grace now bore the weight of their own actions, their glory dimmed by the consequences of their strife. In the midst of the devastation, a glimmer of hope began to emerge. The surviving gods, bruised and broken, started to see the futility of their war. The realization that their conflict had brought only ruin and suffering began to sink in. The battle-scarred warriors, once fierce and unyielding, were now faced with the stark reality of their own creation's demise. With heavy hearts and weary spirits, the gods began to seek a way to mend the rift they had created. The war, though devastating, had taught them a profound lesson about the fragility of existence and the need for unity. The struggle for power had led to a deeper understanding of the importance of balance and cooperation. The aftermath of the war was not a return to the old ways, but a new beginning. The gods, having witnessed the destruction wrought by their own hands, resolved to rebuild and restore the cosmos. Their efforts to heal the wounds of the universe were a testament to their newfound wisdom and a pledge to honor the delicate harmony they had once known. The epic battles among the gods had left a lasting mark on the cosmos, a reminder of the destructive power of discord and the profound strength found in unity. The struggle had been fierce and heartbreaking, but it had also led to a deeper appreciation of the beauty and balance of existence. As the gods worked to mend the world, their legacy became one of both caution and hope, a story of divine conflict and the ultimate quest for harmony. The night was cold and dark, shrouded in an icy silence. The world below, shivering in the embrace of winter's chill, had always looked up to the gods with a longing that no warmth could satisfy. The gods, living in their celestial homes, had kept the precious gift of fire to themselves, a blazing secret that warmed their divine halls but remained out of reach for humankind. The humans, in their frozen struggle, could only dream of the warmth that fire might bring. Their nights were long and bitter, their hands and feet numb from the cold. Stories of the gods' fiery splendor were whispered in hushed tones around the flickering light of meager hearths, the only source of heat they could muster from the scant resources they had. In this desperate time, a spark of hope flickered within the heart of one god, a figure known for his rebellious spirit and love for humanity. This god, compassionate and daring, saw the suffering of the mortals and felt a pang of sympathy. His name was Prometheus, a deity not content with merely observing from afar. He was driven by an unshakable desire to ease the pain of the people below, to bring light into their lives and warmth to their cold, weary souls. Prometheus knew that taking fire from the gods would come at a tremendous risk. The gods guarded their flame with a fierce possessiveness, their divine pride wrapped around it like a protective cloak. To steal fire was to defy their authority, an act of brazen audacity that would certainly invite their wrath. But Prometheus's resolve was unshakable. He believed that the gift of fire was worth any price. On a moonless night, cloaked in shadows and silence, Prometheus descended from his heavenly abode. He moved with stealth and purpose, his heart pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. The divine fire, burning brightly in the heart of the gods' celestial home, was both a beacon of warmth and a symbol of their unyielding control. Prometheus approached it, each step a blend of trepidation and determination. As he neared the sacred flame, Prometheus felt the intense heat radiate from it, a stark contrast to the cold that gripped the world below. The fire seemed to pulse with its own life, its flickering tongues of flame dancing with an almost sentient energy. With a deep breath, Prometheus seized a portion of the fire, carefully carrying it away in a hollowed-out stalk of fennel, a plant chosen for its ability to endure heat without burning away. Returning to the earth, Prometheus was filled with a sense of triumph and dread. The flame he carried was a precious gift, but the god's vengeance was sure to follow. As he approached the mortal world, he felt a surge of hope mixed with fear. This fire, he knew, would bring light and warmth to those who had never known it, transforming their lives in ways they could scarcely imagine. When Prometheus finally presented the stolen fire to humanity, their astonished faces lit up with awe and gratitude. The warmth spread through their homes, banishing the cold that had once held them captive. Fires roared in hearths, casting flickering shadows on walls, and the once dark nights became filled with a comforting glow. The flames that danced before them were more than just a source of heat, they were a symbol of hope and a reminder that their suffering had not gone unnoticed. The gift of fire transformed the human experience, allowing them to cook food, forge tools, and create warmth. It sparked a new era of progress and innovation, lifting humanity from the grip of cold and darkness. The once trembling hands now crafted and built, their lives enriched by the gift that had been so fiercely guarded by the gods. Yet, Prometheus knew that his act of kindness came with a heavy price. The gods, enraged by his defiance, had their retribution prepared. The flames he had stolen were not merely a physical gift, but a symbol of rebellion. The punishment that awaited Prometheus was a testament to the gods' wrath and the cost of challenging their divine authority. As the mortals rejoiced in their newfound warmth, Prometheus faced his own dark fate. The gods, infuriated by his betrayal, condemned him to an eternal punishment. Bound to a desolate rock, Prometheus was doomed to have his liver pecked out by an eagle each day, only for it to regenerate and be devoured again. His suffering was a harsh reminder of the price he paid for his love and compassion, a sacrifice that was both painful and profound. The theft of fire was not just a myth, but a story of profound sacrifice and immense reward. It was a tale that spoke of courage, compassion, and the relentless drive to make the world a better place. Prometheus's defiant act had brought light to the darkness and warmth to the cold, forever changing the lives of humanity and leaving an indelible mark on their history. The legacy of Prometheus's gift lived on in the hearths that warmed homes, the fires that lit the night, and the eternal flame of hope that flickered in the hearts of those who had been touched by his sacrifice. The story of the stolen fire became a beacon of inspiration, a reminder of the power of selflessness and the enduring impact of a single act of defiance. In the quiet shadows of twilight, where the whispers of time seemed to blend with the rustling of leaves, legends of immortality stir. The human heart, ever restless, has always longed for a way to escape the clutches of time, to defy the inevitable march toward an end. Among the gods and heroes of ancient tales, the quest for eternal life shines as a beacon of hope and despair. One such tale is the story of Gilgamesh, the mighty king whose fame and deeds spanned the ancient world. Gilgamesh, a figure of unparalleled strength and wisdom, faced the stark reality of human mortality when his dear friend Enkidu died. Consumed by grief and fear, Gilgamesh set out on a quest that would take him to the ends of the earth and beyond, seeking the secret of everlasting life. His journey led him to the edge of the known world, through perilous mountains and across treacherous seas. Along the way, he encountered gods and monsters, each test revealing his deepest fears and desires. The most profound of these tests was his encounter with Utnapishtim, the immortal sage who had survived a great flood that had wiped out humanity. Utnapishtim's story was a reminder of the fleeting nature of human life, and he spoke to Gilgamesh of the gods' decision to grant immortality only to a chosen few. Despite Utnapishtim's revelations, Gilgamesh remained undeterred. His heart, aching with the desire to escape death, pressed on, even when faced with the cruel truth that immortality was reserved for the gods. Yet, as he returned to his kingdom, he realized that the true gift was not the denial of death, but the acceptance of life's fleeting beauty. The journey had changed him, teaching him that immortality lay not in escaping death, but in living a life full of purpose and love. In another tale, the gods themselves grappled with the notion of eternal existence. The gods of the ancient pantheon, though powerful and immortal, faced their own struggles with time and change. One such figure was the goddess Idun, the keeper of the golden apples that granted the gods their eternal youth. Idun's role was crucial, as these apples were the source of the gods' everlasting vitality. Yet, when Idun was kidnapped by the giant Jatsi, the gods began to age and weaken. The desperation to retrieve Idun and restore their immortality drove the gods to embark on daring quests and confront formidable foes. Idun's rescue not only restored the gods' youth, but also highlighted the delicate balance between life and death. The gods' quest for eternal youth was a constant reminder of their vulnerability, even as they ruled over the cosmos. The golden apples symbolized the gods' attempt to hold back time, but they also served as a testament to the inevitability of change and the fleeting nature of existence. The pursuit of immortality is not merely a story of gods and heroes seeking to escape death. It is a reflection of humanity's deep-seated fear and longing. The ancient myths are filled with characters who, despite their godlike powers, find themselves bound by the same limitations as mortals. Their quests for eternal life reveal a profound truth, that the search for immortality is intertwined with the acceptance of one's own limitations and the embrace of life's fleeting moments. In these tales, immortality is portrayed as both a blessing and a curse. For Gilgamesh, the journey to find eternal life ultimately led him to a deeper understanding of his own mortality. For the gods, the quest to maintain their youth was a constant struggle against the forces of time. Each story, whether of gods or heroes, underscores the idea that true immortality lies not in escaping death, but in living a life of meaning, love, and acceptance. As the ancient stories remind us, the quest for immortality is as old as time itself. It is a journey marked by courage, loss, and ultimately, acceptance. In the end, the tales of gods and heroes seeking eternal life are a reflection of our own quest for meaning and understanding in the face of the inevitable. In the quiet, sacred spaces of ancient temples, where the scent of incense mingles with the whispers of prayers, the profound connection between humanity and the divine unfolded through rituals and sacrifices. These ceremonies were not mere customs, they were heartfelt offerings, acts of devotion that bridged the mortal and the divine. One of the most touching rituals was the offering of first fruits. Imagine a farmer, hands worn from labor, carefully selecting the very first ripe fruit from the harvest. This fruit, bright and full of life, was placed upon an altar as a gift to the gods. This act was more than a simple offering, it was a symbol of gratitude and respect, acknowledging the gods' role in providing the bounty of the earth. The fruit was chosen with care, its vibrant colors and freshness a reflection of the worshipper's appreciation for the gods' blessings. Sacrifices, too, were deeply symbolic and emotional. In ancient times, animals were often sacrificed as a way to honor the gods. The ceremony was conducted with reverence and care, ensuring that the offering was presented in the most respectful manner possible. The ritual of sacrifice was not an act of cruelty but a solemn tribute, meant to convey respect and seek favor from the divine. Each step of the process, from the preparation to the offering, was infused with prayers and intentions, creating a sacred moment where the physical act connected with the spiritual. Another poignant ritual involved the lighting of sacred fires. In the dim glow of dawn, worshippers would gather to kindle fires that symbolized the gods' presence and their warmth. The flames, dancing and flickering, were seen as a manifestation of divine energy. People would gather around these fires, offering prayers and wishes for health, prosperity, and guidance. The light from these fires was a beacon of hope and faith, a symbol of the gods' ever-present watchfulness and care. The rituals extended to daily life as well. Every meal was an opportunity to honor the gods. Small portions of food were set aside from each meal and offered to the gods before anyone else could eat. This practice was a reminder of the gods' role in sustaining life and a way to keep the divine presence active in everyday moments. Even the simplest of meals, when offered with sincerity, became an act of worship and gratitude. Festivals were another powerful expression of devotion. These gatherings were filled with music, dance, and feasts, celebrating the gods in joyous, communal expressions. During these festivals, people would come together to share their blessings and express their gratitude. The air would be alive with laughter, music, and the scent of food, creating a vibrant tapestry of devotion and celebration. Each festival was a reminder of the gods' importance in the community and a chance to come together in collective worship. Through these rituals and sacrifices, a profound sense of connection was established between humanity and the divine. Each act, whether a humble offering of first fruits, a carefully performed sacrifice, a sacred fire, or a festive celebration, was a thread in the rich tapestry of devotion. These moments were not just about appeasing the gods, they were about creating a sacred space where the divine and the mortal could meet, share, and support one another. The heart of these rituals lay in their ability to bring people together in a shared sense of purpose and reverence. In every act of worship, there was a deep recognition of the divine's role in everyday life and a heartfelt expression of gratitude. These ceremonies were more than just traditional practices, they were a way to honor the gods, seek their guidance, and maintain a sacred bond with the divine. In the quiet corners of temples, at the edges of sacred fires, and around the shared tables of festivals, the stories of ancient rituals and sacrifices come to life. They remind us of the deep, emotional connection that people have always sought with the divine, a connection forged through acts of love, respect, and devotion. In the heart of ancient landscapes, where mountains kissed the sky and rivers carved their way through lush valleys, sacred sites and temples stood as the spiritual anchors of PIE culture. These were not mere locations, but vibrant centers where the divine and the earthly intertwined, holding a sacred significance that stirred the hearts of those who revered them. One such site was the towering peak of a mountain, often chosen as a sacred place due to its majestic presence and proximity to the heavens. People climbed these rugged heights with reverent steps, their journey a physical and spiritual ascent towards the divine. At the summit, the air was crisp, and the view seemed to stretch into eternity. Here, offerings were made, prayers were whispered into the winds, and the feeling of closeness to the gods was palpable. The mountain was seen as a bridge between the heavens and the earth, a place where the sky touched the land, and where the divine presence felt closest. Rivers, too, held a special place in the spiritual landscape. Flowing with the grace of 1,000 whispers, they were revered as life-giving forces. Sacred rituals took place on their banks, where people would bathe in the clear, cool waters, believing that these rivers had the power to cleanse not just the body but also the soul. To see the water sparkle in the sunlight and hear its gentle murmur was to feel a connection to something far greater, an unspoken promise of renewal and purity. Forests, with their dense canopies and ancient trees, were seen as mystical realms where the divine spirit dwelled. As people entered these wooded sanctuaries, they were enveloped in a profound silence, broken only by the rustle of leaves and the songs of birds. Each tree was a sacred entity, each glade a holy ground where one could hear the whispers of the gods. In these sacred forests, people would perform rituals and make offerings, seeking guidance and protection from the natural spirits that were believed to reside within. Temples, built with care and reverence, were the focal points of religious life. These structures, often located at the heart of ancient cities or on the edges of sacred landscapes, were crafted with intricate designs that reflected the divine. The walls were adorned with symbols and carvings that told stories of gods and mythical heroes. Entering a temple was like stepping into another world, a place where the air was thick with incense and the light was softened by the glow of lamps and candles. Within these walls, worshippers gathered to offer their prayers, seek blessings, and share in communal rituals that reinforced their connection to the divine. At the center of many of these temples stood an altar, often elaborately decorated and used for offerings. Here, the fruits of labor, the essence of devotion, were laid out as gifts to the gods. The act of placing these offerings on the altar was a deeply personal moment, a chance to express gratitude and seek favor. The rituals performed at these altars were not just ceremonial, they were moments of intense spiritual connection, where the divine was believed to be present and attentive. Each sacred site and temple was a testament to the deep reverence and connection that PIE people felt towards the divine. They were not merely locations, they were living spaces where the sacred and the mortal met. The significance of these places went beyond their physical beauty. They represented a tangible link to the gods, a place where the divine could be felt in the rustling of leaves, the flow of water, and the quiet of ancient stone. These sacred sites were more than just places of worship, they were embodiments of faith, love, and respect for the gods. They stood as enduring symbols of the divine presence in everyday life, inviting all who visited to partake in the sacred and to feel the deep, heartfelt connection that transcended the ordinary and touched the divine. In the heart of ancient communities, as the sun set and the stars began to twinkle in the darkened sky, families would gather around the warmth of the fire. This was more than a time for comfort, it was when the air became thick with magic and the past came alive through the power of storytelling. As the flames flickered and shadows danced on the walls, elders would begin to weave tales that had been passed down through generations. These were not mere stories, they were the lifeblood of culture, the essence of a people's history and beliefs. With each tale told, myths were preserved and handed down with a reverence that touched the heart. The storytellers, often the wise elders of the community, possessed a gift for breathing life into ancient legends. Their voices, rich with emotion, painted vivid pictures of gods and heroes, of battles and love, of creation and destruction. The stories were more than narratives, they were woven with the threads of the past, carrying the weight of ancestors' hopes, fears, and dreams. In these intimate gatherings, children would sit wide-eyed, their imaginations ignited by the tales of gods who roamed the earth, of battles that shook the heavens, and of heroes who ventured into the unknown. They listened in silence, absorbing the wisdom that was passed on with each word, each pause, each gesture. As they grew, they too would become storytellers, inheriting the sacred duty of preserving these myths and ensuring that the essence of their culture remained alive. The transmission of myths was an art form, honed over centuries. Each storyteller added their own voice to the narrative, infusing it with their personal touch while staying true to the core of the myth. The stories evolved, shaped by the experiences and imaginations of those who told them. Yet, despite these changes, the heart of the myth, the core of its meaning and significance, remained intact. It was this balance of preservation and adaptation that kept the myths vibrant and relevant. As the fire crackled and the night deepened, the myths were told with a sense of urgency and passion, as if each telling might be the last. The emotions of the storyteller would rise and fall with the rhythm of the tale, carrying the listeners on a journey of laughter, tears, and awe. The flames reflected in their eyes, a mirror to the timeless stories that danced between the past and the present. Songs and chants often accompanied these tales, adding another layer to the oral tradition. These musical elements were not just embellishments, they were crucial in helping the stories endure. The melodies and rhythms made the myths easier to remember and more impactful, embedding the narratives deeply in the collective memory of the community. Through song and chant, the stories became a part of daily life, a constant reminder of their cultural heritage. Festivals and ceremonies also played a vital role in the transmission of myths. During these occasions, the stories were enacted and celebrated, transforming abstract concepts into tangible experiences. By participating in rituals and reenactments, people connected with the myths on a deeper level, living out the lessons and values that the stories conveyed. These communal events ensured that the myths were not just remembered but experienced, becoming a living part of the cultural fabric. As generations passed, the myths continued to evolve, each new teller adding their own perspective while honoring the past. Through their voices, the myths traveled beyond the confines of the fireside, reaching new audiences and adapting to new contexts. Despite the changes, the core of each story remained a testament to the values, beliefs, and experiences of the people who cherished them. In this way, the myths lived on, a bridge between the ancient and the modern, between the gods and the everyday. They were preserved not just in words, but in the very essence of the community, shaping and reflecting their identity. The transmission of these myths through oral tradition was more than a cultural practice, it was a sacred act of connection and continuity, ensuring that the heart of a people's story would never be lost, but would continue to beat through the generations. In the tapestry of human history, the threads of ancient beliefs often weave their way into the present, creating a rich, intricate pattern that connects past and present. From the shadowy depths of ancient forests to the golden rays of the sun, the myths of the Proto-Indo-European people, though born thousands of years ago, continue to echo in the heartbeats of modern cultures. As the morning light breaks through the mist, we see glimpses of these ancient myths shining through the fabric of contemporary religions and folklore. The stories of gods and heroes that once danced around ancient hearths now whisper through the pages of modern scriptures and folk tales, linking our lives with those of our distant ancestors. Consider the mighty gods of old, whose names and deeds have subtly influenced the pantheons of later traditions. The Skyfather, once revered as the ruler of the heavens, has transformed into familiar figures in various religions. In the Christian tradition, echoes of the Skyfather can be heard in the omnipotent presence of God, a figure that commands respect and awe similar to the ancient deity. The reverence for the celestial, the divine authority, and the overarching power have their roots in the ancient myths that shaped early beliefs. In the same breath, the Earth Mother, who nurtured life and ensured fertility, finds her legacy in the sacred symbols and rituals of contemporary religions. She lives on in the veneration of nature and the reverence for the earth seen in many modern spiritual practices. The celebration of the earth as a source of life and abundance mirrors the ancient respect for the divine feminine, showing how these timeless values have been passed down through the ages. The sun god, who once traveled the sky in a fiery chariot, still shines brightly in the festivals and traditions of today. From the ancient rituals celebrating the sun's return at the solstices to the vibrant celebrations of light and renewal, the sun god's journey across the sky has become a powerful symbol of life and vitality in modern culture. The stories of his daily voyage and the renewal of daylight resonate through contemporary festivities, reminding us of the eternal cycles of nature. Storm gods, with their thunderous power and tempestuous ways, have left their mark on modern folklore and religious stories. The dramatic storms and their accompanying fury are reminiscent of the ancient deities who wielded lightning and thunder. These figures continue to appear in tales and beliefs, representing the raw, untamed forces of nature that humans have always revered and feared. Even the myth of the trickster, the agent of chaos and change, lives on in today's stories and characters. From mischievous gods to playful spirits, the trickster's legacy is evident in the folklore that celebrates cleverness, unpredictability, and transformation. These stories remind us of the importance of change and adaptability, a legacy from the ancient world that still influences how we understand the world around us. Sacred sites and temples from ancient times have evolved into modern places of worship and pilgrimage. The sacred groves and hallowed grounds of the past have transformed into churches, mosques, and temples, where the essence of the ancient reverence for certain locations continues. The connection between these sacred places and the divine is a testament to how deeply rooted these ancient practices are in our collective consciousness. Rituals and sacrifices, once an essential part of ancient worship, have evolved into various forms of modern ceremonies and offerings. Whether through symbolic acts in contemporary religious practices or through the preservation of certain traditional rituals, the echoes of ancient rites are still felt. These acts of devotion, though transformed, keep alive the spirit of the past, honoring the gods and spirits that once commanded the people's respect and devotion. The great myths of old, such as the creation stories and the great floods, have also woven their way into modern narratives. These stories of creation and renewal continue to influence contemporary religious teachings and environmental consciousness. They remind us of the power of myth to shape our understanding of the world and our place within it. Through every story told, every festival celebrated, and every ritual performed, the legacy of Proto-Indo-European mythology remains alive. It breathes through the pages of history, dances in the melodies of folklore, and pulses in the heartbeat of modern spirituality. The ancient myths that once defined the lives of early peoples continue to inspire and shape our world, connecting us with the timeless threads of our shared human heritage. In the quiet moments before dawn, when the world seems to hold its breath, we can almost hear the echoes of an ancient world. This world, vibrant and alive with myth, was the Proto-Indo-European universe, a tapestry of gods, spirits, and cosmic forces that shaped early human imagination. Reconstructing this ancient worldview is like piecing together a puzzle from fragments of dreams and shadows, revealing a vision of existence that still resonates deeply with us today. The Proto-Indo-European worldview was a grand cosmic drama where the sky, earth, and all natural forces were imbued with divine significance. The Skyfather, a figure of immense power and authority, reigned over the heavens with a sense of regal command. He was the protector of order and justice, the one who held the sky above and the world below in a careful balance. His presence was both awe-inspiring and fearsome, a reminder of the vast, uncontrollable forces that governed the universe. Beneath the Skyfather, the Earth Mother nurtured life with an unspoken promise of fertility and sustenance. She was the quiet force that breathed life into the soil and made it possible for crops to grow and for families to flourish. Her touch was gentle but powerful, a constant reminder of the deep, nurturing bond between humanity and the land they lived on. In her embrace, there was a sense of security and abundance, a testament to the life-giving power that was central to their existence. The sun god journeyed across the sky, bringing light and warmth. His daily voyage was a symbol of hope and renewal, a reminder that even after the darkest night, the dawn would always come. This divine traveler, whose rays touched every corner of the earth, was a beacon of life and vitality, offering a sense of connection between the celestial and the terrestrial. His presence was both reassuring and invigorating, a powerful symbol of the eternal cycles that governed the natural world. The storm god, with his tempestuous nature, embodied the raw, untamed forces of nature. He was the guardian of chaos and the harbinger of change, his storms a dramatic reminder of the dynamic and sometimes destructive power that shaped the world. Though his fury could be frightening, it was also a necessary force for transformation and renewal. In the storm god's raging winds and crashing thunder, there was a sense of both fear and reverence, an acknowledgement of the ever-present power of nature's more violent aspects. Amidst these grand deities, the trickster figures wove their own stories of mischief and transformation. They were the agents of change, challenging the status quo and pushing the boundaries of convention. Their antics and cleverness brought both laughter and lessons, reminding people that life was not only about order and stability but also about creativity and adaptability. The trickster's legacy is a vibrant reminder of the importance of flexibility and the joy found in the unexpected. Sacred sites and rituals were woven into the fabric of this ancient cosmology, each location and practice holding deep spiritual significance. The sacred groves, mountains, and rivers were not merely physical landmarks, but were seen as living entities imbued with divine presence. Rituals and sacrifices performed at these sites were acts of devotion and respect, meant to honor the gods and ensure their favor. These practices created a tangible connection between the people and their deities, reinforcing their place within the divine order of the universe. The Proto-Indo-European myths of creation, the Great Flood, and the quest for immortality reveal a profound sense of human longing and a quest for understanding. These stories, passed down through generations, speak to the eternal human desire to grasp the meaning of existence and to seek a connection with the divine. They offer a glimpse into the hopes and fears of ancient peoples, showing how their cosmological beliefs shaped their understanding of life and the universe. As we look at the traces of Proto-Indo-European cosmology in modern cultures, we see how these ancient beliefs have endured and transformed. From the divine figures that echo in modern religions to the rituals and sacred spaces that still hold spiritual significance, the impact of Proto-Indo-European mythology is evident. This ancient worldview continues to resonate, offering a bridge between our ancestors and ourselves. Reconstructing this ancient cosmology is not just about understanding the past, but about recognizing the enduring power of these myths in our lives today. The gods and stories that once shaped the lives of early peoples still speak to us, touching on fundamental aspects of human experience, hope, renewal, transformation, and the quest for understanding. In exploring these ancient beliefs, we connect with a timeless legacy, finding echoes of our shared humanity in the myths that have traveled across millennia to touch our hearts.